Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Honey Flow Talk Show. Good to see all you guys as well. Thanks for coming through, and also YouTube, Facebook. Good to see you guys. We are here actually, twitch.tv/DJ Honeyflow. So definitely make your way down. If there's anyone on any other channels, come down, join the conversation as well. We're here, and also with the new DJ program, some of us have had to start new pages. So I'm starting another new page from scratch. Oh my gosh, help me, please. It's going to be under Djhoneyflowmusic. But I think I'm going to be concentrating on this page a little more, bringing interviews with streamers, DJs, musicians. I'm going to be looking for more people in the industry, maybe contacting some record labels as well, and also favorite content creators. I don't think no one's really done that yet. So I want to try to bring more different fresh content here to the Honey Flow show. But speaking of that, we got a special guest, you guys. He's all the way from Chicago, definitely has that Chicago type of vibe as well, I feel. His show is amazing. He does a really great show streaming too. And he's now residing in Dallas. So we're going to bring him in here, G Class. Make sure you guys welcome him, add him as well. Really great guy too. And it's going to be interesting to learn a little bit more about him too. I see PA Sports Fan in the building, DJ Candy B, this girl Xtina. Thanks for joining me. Appreciate you. Great, little Instagram thing today. I thought that was great. Blissfully Dope as well. Good to see you. So let's bring in G Class. I see some of his tribe here. Hey, how you doing?
I'm all right. How you doing, Honey Flow?
Yeah, doing pretty good. Doing well. Your voice, it's so smooth. So
Oh,
smooth. Yeah, the voice. I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing?
doing well, doing well.
Yeah. So you're originally from Chicago as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Nice. When did you actually move to Dallas?
Um, Probably about 15 years ago, somewhere in there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's
Wow. Yeah.
huge. Like that's
Yeah.
such
I've
a
been here a while.
huge move from Chicago. What brought you to Dallas?
My wife at the time.
Oh,
I
okay.
lived in Chicago my entire life. Got married, and she wanted to move down for, to be closer to her family for the most part. And so I was like, okay, let's try it. So we made the move, and I've been here ever since.
Wow. And you've never thought about maybe heading back? Like Dallas is definitely your home?
Yeah, I'll be here. I have two boys now, but
Mhm.
uh but like the first year maybe I thought about it, but after that I was like, no, I'm good. Um it just felt like more opportunity here, which sounds weird cuz Chicago's such a big city, right? But it as soon as you, I don't know, it's strange, but when you come to a new place and it just, you feel it. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
so
I'm
true.
not going back.
I love Chicago. Oh my gosh, Chicago is like my favorite city. Like, oh, I almost moved there. I love Chicago
Yeah.
with everything in me. It's a great city,
When
for
did you
sure.
visit Chicago?
It was a while ago. It was probably before 2009. I think I went out there 3 or 4 times,
Okay.
and
What
I was
time of the year though?
always in the summer, of
Yeah.
course.
No.
So,
Okay. That
and
that
more of the
makes sense.
touristy things, right? Like
Yes. Yeah.
Magnificent Mile and, the pier, like Hancock Tower. I mean, all the definitely the touristy stuff.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
um, but I've heard lots of things about Chicago, definitely over the
Yeah.
years. Yeah. So do
Beautiful
you try to
place.
go back? Like, do you go back at all?
Um, it's been a little tough the past couple years, but I went back. I've been back twice so far in the last 8 months. One for a funeral, but another one for to DJ. Uh, my buddy needed someone to take his spot at the House of Blues.
Oh,
So I went over
nice.
there and did that real quick. But yeah, I don't go back often. I probably should go back more often, but it doesn't normally happen.
Yeah, House of Blues is big. That's huge. House of Blues.
Yeah,
You're just like,
I
"Ah,
guess.
spot at the House of Blues." That's all. I'm like, "What? House of Blues, isn't that a staple?" Like, also in Chicago or around the world, like, for
Yeah,
musicians and stuff?
yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. That's awesome. How you doing, DJ K Immaculate? Good to see you. J Swan Music in the building. Make sure you guys are adding these guys. They really do great shows. Immaculate always makes me crack up. J Swan Music is smooth as well. Very smooth. Make sure you guys add him. And of course, the Skrillextina does an awesome playlist show. So make sure you guys add her. Does Blissfully Dope? Does she or and DJ Candy B? I gotta check you. Do they do shows? Or I know Candy B does, I think, but
Yeah, they
Blissfully
both streamed.
Dope. Oh, okay. I don't know
But
if I've seen Blissfully Dope. I'm gonna have to check her.
yeah,
What does she
check out
stream? Is
Candy
she
B for sure though. For
Yes,
sure
I
check
gotta
out
check
Candy B.
her. I think
Yeah.
I added her a while ago. I definitely have to check her for sure. Yeah. So I'm curious, like, kind of your start, like how long ago it was and what inspired you in music.
Um well that's a okay. That's an interesting question because if you're saying my start as a DJ, it was about 10 years ago.
Mhm.
I bought a Newmark Mix Track Pro and been going ever since. But music, I've been around music probably for most of my life. Whether it's been different, family events or private events that you would go to. Just growing up around music, hearing it, I eventually went to like making. I would make CDs for my friends because they were like, "Oh, well, we want these songs," and I would try to make it flow. Um, to where they don't have to stop it. They can just start it. Like once they start it, they go all the way to the end. And that kind of stirred up something in me, and then I started making like real mixes. I can't remember the name of the program right now, but there was a way that you could put the songs together and then fade one into the other, right? And so uh, that like really fueled me to just want to take it even further. And so yeah, I've been around music for most of my life. I've produced, been in the studio. I've worked with a few people. Nobody major. I've made music. So music is just in me. I love it.
Nice. Was a program like Audacity, I wonder, or Virtual DJ or
No,
any
this
of
is
those?
before those.
Oh,
This is before
before
those. This
those.
was it starts with an N. I can't remember, but at the time I
Hmm.
was using SoundForge. We use SoundForge to edit songs. But then
Mhm.
there was another program that came with it, which most people didn't really talk about too much, and I didn't really use it very much until this one time. I got asked to put together a mix for like a little house party, and I was like, you know what, let me challenge myself. So I challenged myself to make the mix where the songs blended together, and they were like, yeah, this is really good, and just I just took it from that point, like okay, but I still didn't DJ. To be quite honest with you, I didn't DJ till I moved down here for whatever reason. I don't know why.
Mhm.
Um, I guess sometimes it just happens that way. But as soon as I moved down here, I finally decided to take a chance on myself and do it a different way. And so I just went for it.
And it's never too late, right? Like lots
Yeah,
of people, especially during the pandemic, started as DJs or a little bit later. So it's definitely never too late if you love music. How
yeah.
you doing? Living life golden. Good to see you as well. He says hello to you as well.
How you doing? How
And
you doing?
I'm trying to think if you're as old as me. I have a feeling you're younger than me, but now that I'm talking to you, but I wonder if you were in like the MySpace LimeWire type of days. Maybe not. I don't think so.
Yeah, no, I was around.
Oh, you were?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. He looks a lot younger, guys, to me. Now that we're gonna zoom in on
Nah,
him and check him out.
look at these
He looks younger than
grays.
me. Hey, grays are
No.
great. They're very, they refine someone,
Yeah.
which is good.
Well, they're telling my age right now. So
Yeah. No, I was kind of thinking maybe you're around K Maculate's age. I think he's probably at least 10 years younger than I
how old
am.
is K Mac?
Yeah, how old are you, K Mac? Drop it in the chat. I mean, you don't have to say your age or anything, but I kind of thought, if you said you started 10 years, maybe. So 10 years ago, you were doing the CDJs then? Like you started kind of in that era, right?
No. 10 years
Oh,
ago I did the it was I didn't have any money. Oh, you 80,
mhm.
you 2 years younger than me. Okay.
Oh,
Uh
85. Oh, so you're 87.
no,
Oh, you're
I'm
87?
83.
Oh, wait,
You?
I gotta
I'm
calculate my
83.
age. Oh my gosh. Don't tell anyone, guys. I'm 78. Oh my gosh. I'm older than you guys. Definitely older than you guys. I
That's
was
okay.
calculating it out. I'm like, wait a
Yes.
second, 80, 80s, Yeah, I thought you guys were gonna say 2000s. Yes, this
Oh,
girl
no,
Extina
I'm
says 75.
no, 2000, no way I'm that. I wish that was a different time back then. 24, 25.
No,
Man.
it definitely was for sure. So then, what equipment you just mentioned that you had? Was it like a controller then?
Yeah, that
It
was
was
a
10 years
controller.
ago.
The Newmark Mix Track Pro, which had just came out. I didn't know anything about wires and how it worked and could I use it any. I just wanted. I needed something to work with, right? I needed something to help me get these ideas out musically. Which, like I said, when I moved from Chicago, which I was making music on a consistent basis, to Dallas, I didn't have that same connection. I didn't have that same um, like foundation. So it was like, okay, what are you gonna do? And that's when I decided to kind of take a chance, and I bought this thing that was like this square thing. It was plastic, and it had a few buttons on it, and I mean, it was all right. I mean, I loved it. I took care of it like a little baby, but at the time, it wasn't event worthy. I shouldn't have been taking it out on gigs, but I did.
That's
And
so funny. Do
you
you
know,
still have those pieces of equipment? Like, do you
I
still
was
have
thinking
them?
about that. No, I don't even remember what I did with it. I,
Oh
I don't. I
man,
might have sold it.
I know it's
I
easy
don't.
to sell, but I actually kept my CDJs. They've been in my suitcases for like 20 years, like old suitcases.
But that's CDJs are a little different. Um, that makes sense to keep. But this thing was plastic. Like
Mhm.
if I dropped it one time, it was done. So
Yeah,
I sold
exactly.
it as soon as I could.
So true. And yeah, it's true. DJ Candy B says we all got to start somewhere. And really no one cares about your equipment. I know DJs do, but I think when I interviewed Jay Chalet, she said the same thing. She's like, "Hey, if you could rock cheaper equipment, do it." Like no one cares about, "Oh, you got the top of the line." It's only I think it's just a DJ thing that they seem to care, but like when you're out playing gigs, no one people could care less. Like, they don't even know if you're playing on your phone these days, right?
No,
You know?
I listen. I agree with. I've seen it all. I
Mhm.
came down here and saw my first iPad DJ. Didn't really understand what I was looking at. Like, what is he really using an iPad? Yes. Um, but for me, the only reason why I say that is because the first the first gig I was able to do was an anniversary party, and the speakers were fine, the music was flowing. I had been practicing for weeks, and I was like, yeah, I'm good, I'm ready. And then they wanted to show something on a projector, which if you've ever seen the Mixtrack Pro, it's not set up for like another channel. It doesn't even have an aux. And so I'm like, um, I don't know what to do. So they played the audio, and I like put my microphone close to it so that it would come out through the speakers. And from that, I said, never again. I'm never gonna go through this again. And so I upgraded as soon as I could. But I needed that gig to upgrade. So I agree with you. It doesn't really matter what you rock, but when you're in an event, you want to be you want to have everything you need. So I just, man, it worked out that time, but never again. Never ever again.
And most people don't realize when you do gigs, especially weddings or corporate, you become everything, guys. You become an event planner, a videographer, a photographer, a caterer. Like everyone is going to the DJ for something, right? Don't you find? So they're like, oh, just plug this in, plug that in. Why don't you do this? How about that, right? So
Listen,
it's
I couldn't tell
crazy.
you how
You have
many
to learn
times somebody
fast,
asked
right?
me to. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I get requests all the time. Hey, can I plug this in? The photographer. Hey, can I plug the can I hook up to your audio? Like what? What are you talking about? Like, how do you know that I even have the cord for that? Like, you're just bringing me the device. Like
Yeah.
I so now I'm going to all these gigs and I'm bringing different cords. Like I bought a cord for an iPhone accessory because the wedding that I did, the lady said that she needed it. I didn't buy it before the gig, but I bought it after. I'm one of those. It's like I'll never get caught slipping again. And then every time it's
Oh, for
always
sure.
something new,
Oh, yeah,
always something
definitely,
coming
and
up.
you always have to bring a million connections, a million cords, like, people don't realize like, my last event, I brought in, like, duffel bags, suitcases, like, 2 carts of stuff. It probably went a little overboard, but you're just like, if you just forget that one, like, USB cord or that one cord or one cord doesn't work, you know what I mean? Like, then you're scrambling, what do you do, right? Has that
Hmm.
ever happened to
Hmm.
you at a gig where it's like you forgot a hard drive or something wasn't working at all?
I've never forgotten a hard drive, but I did
I
forget.
forgot one, mine.
Um, I forgot my cord that goes to the hard drive.
Oh,
I I
shoot.
when I went to Chicago, House of Blues.
Oh, man.
I felt good. I was like, yeah, I'm ready. I everything's set, and I thought I saw the cord in my bag. That's why I was like, okay, we're good. And I get to the event, and I pull everything out and I
Oh,
hook it
that's
all up, and I'm
brutal.
like, oh no, where's the where's the
Shoot.
cord? Well, fortunately, the manager, the floor manager, she had cords, so she was like, yeah, I'm
That's
usually prepared for
amazing.
stuff like this. So
And she
yeah, it
had a
worked out.
cord for, like, your newer hard drive, or that's
Yeah,
crazy that that worked out. Because
yeah,
what
I
happens
agree.
if you didn't have the cord? Then what like, do you have music saved on your laptop, or is it mostly on your hard drive?
Hard drive.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
They
And it
always
was tight
say,
because it was almost showtime. I'm downtown Chicago.
oh, man.
Yeah, she, she saved me. She saved me, so it
Were
worked
you
out.
opening up for someone, like, at the House of Blues? That's a staple, I believe,
No,
House of Blues.
it was a private event this
Oh,
time.
that's
It was a private
cool.
event.
Wow, that's awesome. I would love to do House of Blues, man. That's really dope.
You
How
should.
you
Do they have a House of Blues
not
in?
here in Toronto, but I know they
Okay.
do, I guess, across the states, right? So,
Yeah, they do. They got one here.
okay.
So
How you doing?
I've been to both.
Sweet. How you doing? Roses are red. Thank you so much, this girl Xtina with the resub. Uh, Girl, I appreciate that. But man, you've helped me so much on my show. But thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. Um, and let's see here. We got not your average guy. Is it Chew? Is it Chewy Gomez or Chew
Looks like
Gomez?
Chewy.
Chewy, how you doing? Good to see you. Hey, we got DJ MC2J man. Make sure you guys are adding him as well. Good to see you. Living Life Golden, J Swamp Music. I see all you guys coming in. Thanks for coming through. Oh, it's Chewy. Chewy. Okay. Nice. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, definitely drop them in the chat. Make sure you guys are adding G class. So do you remember like your most memorable event that you've had over the kind of 10-year period?
Mm, I don't know. I'm always doing something. Like I had my mentor. He was like, "You need to write this stuff down," because there was some things I did. I just completely forgot about it. Probably, but I this was before the pandemic. This was my first time doing the House of Blues, and I was coming before another DJ, and uh, I don't know. It was just no. I got a better one. I got a bet
Mhm.
on that. I think about it, which that was nice. That was
You could
fun.
tell
But
us a few of them. I don't mind. I like hearing these stories.
I got one that really sticks with me. Again, I had I had been in Texas maybe about let's say 7, 8 years. No, less than that. 5, 6 years, right? And so I was working with a buddy, and he said he was getting married. I was like, hey man, I DJ. Uh, you know, would you mind? Like, could I? Can we talk about it? He was like, okay, cool. And so I was like, okay, so what do you like? And it was country music, and I was like, oh, I've never played country. I I don't know much anything about country. So I was like, can you give me some songs? He was like, yeah, we'll give you some songs and then you just kind of work with that or whatever. So I was like, okay, cool. So I had to play country music. I had to, which was my first time. It may not seem like it, but I never liked talking on the microphone. It may not seem like it now, but for
No.
years, I never talked on the microphone at a gig. I was
Wow.
forced to at this one because they were like, well, you got an MC too. They tell me this when I get there. So I got an MC. I'm playing country music, and the weirdest thing about it, I think this is what made it so good because they danced the whole time.
Mhm.
But the weirdest thing about it, an older gentleman came up to me and he was like, how you doing? I said, I'm doing good. So I was like, what can I do for you? He said, I was wondering, could you play Baby Got Back?
Oh, that's
I
hilarious.
was like,
Wow.
wait, what? Like, what do you mean?
That's
He was
so
like, no,
funny.
no, Baby Got Back. And I said, okay, sure, I could do that for you. And so what up, Funk? And so I end up, I play it, and he's like the only person on the dance floor. Like he didn't care who was there, who was looking. Like he went out there and danced, and then he was like, thank you, and then he went off, and then we got back to country. So I think that was like that's my most memorable so far.
That's so funny. Wasn't it strange? Like, aren't you so surprised when you look at people and you're like, yeah, I don't know, maybe I judged a little bit when I'm at a crowd, looking at a crowd here. I'm like, yeah, they probably don't like hip hop at all. Like, I'm just evaluating, looking at them, the corporate, kind of like older, like, people, stuffy
Yeah,
suits, a little poshy. I'm like, yeah, they're probably not going to be digging. And then they come up to you, they're like, could I hear some Drake? Can I hear some Salt and Pepper from you? Can I hear this? Can I hear? I'm like, what? Like, it's so shocking, like what people are into, right? I
yeah,
don't know, the
it
requests
is.
that you get. Yeah. Just
No,
by looking at people, you're like, yeah, they probably wouldn't be into, uh, you know, the genres of music that I like. I'm like, "Oh, I'll just play this for them." But you never know what people like, you know?
yeah,
So,
no, you're right. You don't. But that's why I really like DJing for people because you find out some things. Like
mhm.
we get real close. We become there's a connection that we create there. Because now I'm tapping into some memories. Maybe I'll play something. You'll hear somebody scream. Well, at least in my circles, you'll hear somebody scream. This is my song. Oh my god, I love this. That
Mhm.
just it's like yes, I got them. Or you'll play something and nobody else is dancing, and then you look over and there's this one guy or this one
So
lady, and they're just
true.
loving it. I'm like you know, I
So
love
true.
stuff like that. So I try
Not
not to
your
judge.
Yeah, no,
Not
that's
not
true.
anymore.
No, you're right. Like, not your average guy, but you also still kind of have to judge a crowd, or you have to be able to read them, right? What they like when you look at people when
Oh
they're
yeah,
walking in the room, you got to kind of figure out, okay, what they'll like, what they won't like. You got to read the crowd fast, right? So you're always kind of looking engaging, but yeah, you just never know. And it's true, not your average guys like, thus the saying, never judge a book by its cover. So true.
yeah.
Like, just, when I just DJ'd Sephora, I had a police officer, well, I did post him, on Instagram, but I
I
had a
saw that.
decent looking police officer, and I was playing reggae. I slipped in some reggae in there in this makeup store. I'm like, this is Toronto. I'm gonna try to slip it in. Slipped it in, and he comes up to me. He's like, and he was kind of guarding the store. He's like, "Can you play Boasty?" I was like, "What?" by Idris. I was like, "What?" Like, my brain, and he was kinda, like, dancing to it a little bit in front of the store, so, um, I thought that was kinda funny, because he's, like, fully in his uniform, everything, policing.
Yeah.
I was like, "Wow, I would have never thought," you know? So,
It's
anyways.
a difficult thing if you go into it. This is what I've learned. If you go into it judging off the look, if you go
Yeah.
into it judging off the look, then you'll be thrown off, right? I try to play based off emotion. So how does it feel? And if I'm playing based off of how it feels, then
Mhm.
and then I'm connecting with someone, then more than likely the next song I pick, they're gonna be feeling, and then the next song, and then the next song, and then you just keep building off of that. That's just in my opinion. I don't know. I mean, everybody has a way about it, but for me, I try to play based off of how I feel, and that removes the judging. Like the cop, like
Mhm.
if you were playing reggae and you're feeling it, he's feeling it, then yeah, it makes sense for him to be like, yeah, you got boasty because you're like, yeah, I do. I got
Yeah.
you.
I mean, I was playing a bit of Afrobeats and reggae and slipping that
Yeah.
in, but you never know, like, when you're looking like, when I did Nordstrom's, they're just like, can you kinda, like, not play drop soca?" But Toronto is different if you've ever been here, it's very multicultural, so
Mm,
even though Nordstrom is kind of a bougie store, like, in order to last here in Canada, which unfortunately they didn't last in Canada, but in order to last here, you need to really be relatable and play cultural mixes because we have like 200 nationalities in the world here, right? So
wow.
you can't just be playing like, like the Nordstrom maybe in the States could be different if they're
Mm,
trying to target a very high end or net worth crowd, but that's not gonna work. That's definitely not gonna work here. Like, you have to be catered to different cultures and people here, right? So, but anyways, yeah. Have you ever done that too, where you've worked a gig and they're just like, "Ah, yeah, we don't," like, they had kind of, I'm trying to think, kinda like how Nordstrom is a bit, where they're just like, you were going this way, but they want you to, you know, go a different direction?
I've been fortunate. I've never had anybody tell me that the direction I took. A lot of times you'll get somebody that comes up and makes a suggestion.
Mhm.
Like I said, if you're playing country, they're like, "Hey, can you stick with country?" There was some people, and they get real strong about their country. Like, "Hey, just play that all night." Like I had a guy yell at me, like, "Just play that all night. Play stuff like that all night." Like they don't care if you play the same thing over and over or what. But it just depends on where you are. For the most part, people make suggestions here and there. But it's my show, so
That's true. Do you feel like
they don't usually come up
it's
and say something.
probably a very different vibe, like Chicago, obviously, to the South? Like, what were some things that you noticed as a DJ musically? Because I'm assuming like house, steppers music, and that sort of thing is huge in Chicago. But compared to going down to the South, what did you find was really different
Well, I mean,
in the music?
I think it's just like most places. Chicago. I mean, country is a southern thing. Chicago is diverse with cultures, but it's still segregated as far as like if you look at the map, like who's where. So if I'm on the south side, see, that's the only way I can really answer this question. If I'm on the south side, I'm playing hip hop and R&B until whenever. If I go up north, I can do a little bit of that, and I can also try to bring in some rock, some alternative, some stuff like that. Out west, it's about the same, and then the clubs are typically like very specific. So it just all depends. When I moved down here, um, I was able to do a little bit of everything. But see, that's the other thing too, is because as I've gone through this journey, I've decided that I'm going to play what I feel is right in the moment, and I'm not going to be restricted by genre. Uh, that may be it's a challenge. It's not the easiest thing. Sometimes you get a little shaky, but that there's no reward without the risk. So I'm gonna shoot my shot and see if it works out or not. And if it doesn't, hey, I can always go back to what everybody likes. You want to hear line dance music? Okay, sure. Let's do line dances for a while. But that I think that's the beauty of it. So no, I to answer your question outright, no, I haven't experienced that.
Hmm.
I hope I never do. I hope
Yeah.
nobody comes to me like we were just disappointed in your selection.
Hmm.
Like that would
Well,
really suck.
everyone likes something different, right? Like
Oh,
it's hard to
absolutely.
please everyone if they're
From day to
younger,
day.
older. Yeah, like especially if you're doing like stores or restaurants or different things. Like everyone has such a different collective music taste, and everyone thinks they're a DJ when they come up to you, right? Everyone's like, "Oh, well, this'll get the dance floor, uh, ready or busy." Meanwhile, they're the only ones and they don't even dance, the ones that ask for a request, right? Or they're the
Never.
only one
Never.
on the dance. Yeah, and it's just like, you were hounding me all night and you're not even dancing, right? Or you're the only one that's dancing and like that guy you told me about and no one else is, you know?
But you know what? My mentor, um, I I had the fortune of watching him, and so uh, what he did, what I saw him do was somebody came to him and was like, "Hey, can you play this song?" And so he was like, "Okay, I'm gonna play it for you. Now, when I play it, I want you to come on the dance floor." But also, what he did, because he told me, he was like, "Hey, watch this." He was like, "All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting ready to play so and so's selection. This is his song. All right, here we go." And he put all the pressure on him. And so everybody's looking at him like, "What's this song? Like, let's see what this is." And personally, I don't even remember the song, but I know the person who asked for that, he didn't come up and ask for anything else again. And it wasn't in a negative way, but it was like sometimes you gotta like help people understand. Like, listen, this is what I do.
Mhm.
You're coming up to me based off of feeling, right? Like, oh, I, this song will go great with this song, or I love this. When I'm in my car, I listen to this or I've had this song in my mind all day. It's like that's cool, but I'm working. All right, so just relax. I'll take care of you. I
Mhm.
got it. So yeah, absolutely. You're hired for a reason.
Exactly. Have you
Let
ever
me
had
let me
any
do it.
like, do you ever remember the craziest requests that have I mean, the last one you told me was kinda that's funny, but have you
Yeah, I didn't
heard of
expect. You had to see that guy. I,
Yeah.
I listen. I don't. I try not to judge, but he's, yeah, that was weird. The craziest request.
Yeah, like any crazy requests? Just at the oddest time too that you've had?
I think the last crazy request I got was probably on Twitch, but I can't remember what the person asked. I was like, that does that sound like what where we are? Like it was
Where
such
you
a
are.
yeah. It's like we're here. You're all the way over here. You came from out of nowhere, and you're like, hey, can you just play this song? No, play it on your phone.
Exactly. I know. Is yeah, I don't know. You definitely get some interesting characters for sure,
You do.
online and offline and in real time. Is there like a preference that you have? Like, do you prefer doing more real time gigs over Twitch, or do you like kind of doing more of the online streaming? Like, if you had to pick between one, what do you kind of prefer?
I love Twitch. I love being here because I don't have to grab those two totes, those two speakers, that sub, the
Mhm.
stands, the table, the wire. I don't have to do any of that. I just set it up here and what's a smaller, setup and start playing and play what I want to play, how I want to play it, and I'm like each time I'm learning myself. It's like it's not just I'm not only playing for myself. I mean, I'm not only playing for the audience, but I'm playing for myself because I'm learning each time. Like even if I play, this certain number of songs in the same order, I'm doing it in a different way. It's always something different and something new and nuanced. So I really, really, really enjoy the virtual space, the digital space. It's my it's like heaven.
Yeah, for sure. How long have you when did you actually start on Twitch? Like, how did that journey begin too for you?
Okay. Uh well, I've had a Twitch account since 2016. I looked it up.
Mhm.
But I started DJing on Twitch probably about a year or so after or into the pandemic. So maybe 2021, somewhere in that year. 2020 is when the pandemic hit, right? No, I'm not a partner. I'm just an affiliate. But 2020 was when the pandemic hit. Shortly after everything shut down, me and my buddies started this show on Zoom called Friday Night Face Off,
Oh, nice. That's
and
cool. I like
it
the name.
it exploded.
Mhm.
Like I I wasn't prepared for that. I didn't expect that, but it it exploded. Like we made a Facebook group and we hit like 1,200 people almost instantly. Like
Wow.
I
Amazing.
never saw any of that happening. We only did it on Friday,
Hmm.
uh, and it was basically we were doing the idea off of verses. The whole idea was to do it in a more intimate setting. So we'll take these two artists, we'll put them up against each other, we'll play 10 songs apiece, and it'll be a more intimate kind of thing. And again, it blew up. But then, you know, as some things tend to do, uh, things it just kind of faded,
Mhm.
and I had to make a decision. Like, okay, what am I gonna do? I had a buddy tell me about Twitch, and I was like, I don't know, man. Like, this seems like a lot is going on. But he was like, no, no, man, just try it out. So I said, okay. I went on ahead, tried it out. I had an idea, Red Cup vibes. That was the whole thing. To just play my music. In a different way because now it's just me. I went from starting this thing with like four other people to now it's just me. And so I was like, okay, we'll see what happens. If you look at, well, you can't catch some of my earlier streams. Uh, and I don't think I recorded them. If I
Oh,
did, I'm not
no?
telling.
Too bad you didn't
If
record them.
if I did, I'm not telling. But
Oh,
I
come
never
on, you
talked on the
should.
mic.
Yeah.
I never talked on the microphone. I never, like, never. I would go through a stream and didn't talk
Mm.
on the
You
microphone.
have a very good voice on the mic, by the way. Like,
I appreciate that.
no, but you really, really do. Like, I come from a radio background, so it's like, how DJs like, "Hey, how you doing, DJ Funk Laura as well?" Like, a DJ like that would know a good DJ, another good DJ, you know what I mean? With his background, for me, it's like I could tell when I'm listening, like when I'm listening to voices, I'm like, wow, like, yeah, you definitely have it. So it's interesting that you say that, yeah, I never really wanted to be on the mic because I think that could
Never.
be like definitely one of your strong points actually is your
I
mic
appreciate
presence.
that.
Yeah.
It took a
So,
lot of work. I mean, and
mhm.
then, I never would have, and I think this is a lesson for anyone. Like, go for it. See what happens. I had the mic there, never used it. And then, I kept saying over and over, Blissfully Dope. She's been with us since the Friday Night Face Off days. It's crazy. So she knows. I would talk on the Zoom here and there.
Mhm.
But when I went to Twitch, I was like, nah. And I was talking to her, and I remember I was saying that like I really want to grow this thing. But I don't know how. But the first step would be for me to talk more. And so I would talk a little more and talk a little more, talk a little more. And now all of a sudden it's like, now I'm doing a stream where I'm telling these stories about different artists and I'm talking, extemporaneously. Like I'm not looking at notes. Like everything is just not everything, but I'm having these moments where I'm having these conversations with the audience and I'm looking in the camera and it's like, who is this person? Like, how did you get here? How did we reach this point? So, like,
I think
if
someone wants you to say their name, by the way. I think you need to say her name slowly at her.
Christina,
You gotta say her
okay,
full
she's just
name.
messing around.
No,
This
she's
girl,
serious.
Xtina,
She doesn't say that often. This is the first time I've ever heard her say that about anyone. So consider yourself lucky that she's saying that. Yeah. Maybe you could give her a voice drop. You should do that for your show for her show. This girl
I'll think
Xtina.
about it. I'll think
Play
about it.
this show. See, I can't do it like you, but also, I feel like you not only have the quiet storm voice, but I feel like you could have like a voice for sports broadcasting,
Hmm.
like not only radio, sports, you could probably do voiceovers. You should actually look into that, like doing voiceover drops, and you get paid for that doing commercials.
Hmm.
Oh, I know what you can do. I feel like you could do a voiceover for like a dating app. Like, do you ever watch the Kendra G show? I feel like you could do her voiceover, like a
No,
like a
Kendra
dating,
G.
yeah, like a dating app, show. No? Okay. Well, don't you
I
guys
mean,
think that he
sure.
he could do it like a commercial for eHarmony? I feel like he could do one. Do you ever
Are
do
they
like a
still
quiet?
around?
Nah, I don't know. Probably. Who knows? I can't stand these apps. Okay, you could do a voice for Tinder. I gotta update myself, guys. eHarmony sound making us sound old. Um, yeah, see, not your average guy says I agree. I agree. What do you think,
Appreciate that.
DJ
Thank you.
Candy B? What do you think? I'm just trying to think of ideas. How you doing, Crazy Berrytown? What do you think he could do a voiceover, guys? Don't get too creepy, ladies, though. But drop it in the chat. Oh man, blissfully dope. What do you think he could do a voiceover for? But yeah, you should definitely look into those things because some people don't have that. Like it takes years to develop broadcasting, and that skill. But if you automatically have the voice, I mean, it's probably easy. Like be
I don't
easy
know.
for you.
If they're paying, I'd love to do it.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
so you should get into voiceovers. Uh definitely do that. Uh yeah, that would
Yeah.
definitely work. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, definitely drop them in the chat. Yes, see, this girl Xtina wants a voiceover from you. She says, "Try welcome to Let's Make a Playlist." Actually, could you just say that? Can you say it? I can't say it. I sound like the someone from Unsolved Mysteries. I sound creepy. So can you just say that little blurb there for this girl Xtina?
You want me to include the try part or just the welcome?
Oh, just welcome.
Just welcome. Okay. Welcome to Let's Make a Playlist.
Ooh. Yeah, that sounds very good. You guys, what do you guys think? That sounds, yeah, he's definitely got the voice. Not your average guys like use your
Just a
baritone
baritone.
voice, G class. Do you try to do that on your shows or no? Or do you just talk normally? Or do you try to go a little be honest, a little baritone, when you're playing slow jams on your show?
No, it's pretty normal.
Oh, it's pretty normal?
Yeah, I don't. Anybody that's ever talked to me, it's pretty normal. Like
Oh, okay.
I don't talk too fast. Um, Only time just like anybody else, when you're having a conversation, you get excited or you laugh and stuff like that. But say it with my chest, huh?
I feel
I'm
like
not
you have a
listening to
lot
you,
of
Jace.
ladies that go to your show. I'm sure it's
You
probably
think
very
so?
popular. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah,
I don't know. I
you
never
do.
looked
Come
at the
on.
numbers. I never looked at the numbers. It's
Mm.
possible.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. He definitely does, guys.
I
Um,
just I enjoy telling the stories.
yeah, no, that's good. Oh, this girl Xtina says, I think he says things a little deeper, certain things
I say
deeper.
certain things deeper.
Oh, J Swan Music says Action redeems G Class Kevin Hart redemption. What's that?
Bro, that's not even
Do
it's
you have a
this thing
redemption?
I have. Yeah, but it's nothing. Kevin Hart just pops out and he's looking. That's all.
Oh, okay, that's all. So you started in 2016. Wow. Like, so were you like
Well,
kind of,
I had a Twitch account. That's when I had a Twitch
wow.
account. But
So
I had an Xbox, so
you were like way ahead of any of us. Like none of us really knew Twitch. A lot of DJs didn't know Twitch until the pandemic. So you pretty much knew what Twitch was about in 2016. Did you see any DJs or the music category? Like, was it
no,
even evolving or big or anything?
no. Twitch at that time was it was a video game app. It was for people to live stream video games. Like that's how I had it. I had an Xbox, so I think we went from Mixer to Twitch because it started with Mixer, and then we got a. I remember an email, a notification saying that Mixer is shutting down, and we're gonna move to Twitch. I was like, okay, so I moved to Twitch, but it didn't really work well. Like it
Yeah,
was
the audio and all that, because they
the
probably didn't
audio,
have,
the video.
yeah. But can you
It wasn't
imagine
ready.
if you would have started in 2016 as a DJ, you
It's true.
literally probably would have been the first DJs
It's very
like
true.
here. Like, yeah, you know? And
But
I wonder
I
how
wasn't
the
ready.
and I think the viewership would have been pretty cool too, because it's like how
My
you said you
gosh.
blew up on Zoom. I think that would have blown up, like, if you, because there weren't any DJs. Well, I don't know. Does anyone know if they checked Twitch in those years, 2016, if they saw any DJs? Let us know.
I mean, I think there were, but um, definitely not to the point it is now. And and again, the platform was made for gamers. If anything, people, the just chatters would come in after that. So it'd be gamers first, just because they were putting it on every Xbox and PlayStation, and then you will have just chatters of people that just want to come on and talk, and then now you might have had somebody like a DJ to come on, but even the technology wasn't 100% there. Like look at D Nice. I mean, honestly, like he was playing on Instagram, but for a time there, he was playing like music, and he was using his phone's microphone, and until he got a little mixer, and then now he's official. So I just don't think the technology was there. I mean,
Hmm.
it'd be cool to be one
Mhm.
of the first people. Plus, I wasn't ready for that. Like
Yeah.
I was in my 30s, and yeah, I wasn't ready for that.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's cool, and look how much it's evolved, right? Like
Yeah.
fitness shows like Crazy Berry Town and like, so many DJs, talk shows, crafters, gamers, like there's so many different unique people on here. People
Yes.
that do paintings, portraits, basically anyone that's streaming sports, announcers, like broadcast shows here. And there's definitely, I think Twitch is do you think Twitch is getting more recognized? I think Twitch is getting more, like, I just saw an interview with Montel Jordan here on Twitch. I didn't think he really knew Twitch. So I
Hmm.
was shocked, like, seeing his interview. And the thing I like is it could be very intimate. If there's not a lot of people in the chat, then you can actually talk to them, right? It's kind of like Instagram, or you could connect a little bit more, ask questions.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So it's kind of like going to versus battle maybe, and you're talking with people that are, like in it, like on Instagram. Is kind of cool. So,
No, I agree with you. I think I don't know if this is a direct question, but yeah, Twitch. I think Twitch is growing every day.
mhm,
What as soon as I excuse me, as soon as I saw um, radio stations joining Twitch, that's when I knew. I said
mhm.
this is growing larger than people are really recognizing. And you probably want to get on the bus as soon as possible.
True.
I know
Yeah.
for a fact Jazzy Jeff saw it. He
Mhm.
saw an opportunity, and a lot of other bigger DJs, they definitely saw that opportunity and came on to take advantage of that. From what I understand, if you were here when the pandemic started, it was like, you know, I mean, everybody had viewers, everybody was growing, follows, and his partners left and right. I wasn't here for that because I was too scared. But
Mhm.
yeah,
Really? You're too
I'm
scared?
here
Wow.
now. I
Yeah.
was. Hold on, I'm not scared now, but I
No.
was too scared.
Yeah. Like, what were you afraid of? Like, was it just like, "Ah, I don't really wanna get on the mic," or was it being in front of the camera too? Are you more, like, introverted, I'm assuming?
Yeah, yeah,
A lot of
yeah.
DJs are
I'm an
introverted.
introvert for
Yeah, a
sure.
lot, which surprised me because usually the DJs are, like, on the stage and hyping up the party and hyping up everyone in front of them, so I was actually very shocked the amount of, DJs that I've met online that are actually introverted. That surprised me, you know?
Yeah,
So, because 'cause they're pumping up everyone, like, I just assumed most DJs were extreme extroverts like myself, but no, that wasn't the
no,
case.
no. And again, I'm not good on the number, but
Yeah.
even then, right? So even if you're an introverted DJ,
Mhm.
um, you can kind of put on. Let's say if you're an introverted person, you can put on an extroverted persona, right?
Hmm.
So you build up the energy. So for introverts, a lot of it is about energy. How much energy do I have to give? How many people do I have to talk to? But as a DJ, it's like, okay, like it's showtime. So it's time for me to turn it on, hype up the crowd and say hello to everyone and do this and that and that. Like you can develop that. So
But
it's not
doesn't
a
that exhaust you though? Because
yeah,
introverts
by the end.
fuel like, they fuel being alone. I'm the opposite. I fuel being around people, like, I always
Hmm.
constantly have to be around people. Not constantly, but I feel like I don't refuel if have too much time alone.
Oh, okay.
So, if I
But that's
spend time
everyone.
with people but they
Yeah.
say extroverts are like that. They have to spend time with people and then they can leave, but introverts are opposite, where it kind of exhausts them being around so many people that they need to take time to be alone.
Well,
So
I it's sort of see introverts. We understand that we need people. We
mhm.
just don't need them that much. Like
Yeah, that's true.
like it's cool, to go out and see some people for a short time, and then we go home and we don't have to see anybody for like a month. It's sometimes that's why I like this so much. Like I don't have to, and I'm good around people. Don't get me wrong, but
Mhm.
it's just so much energy and smiling and shaking hands and all that stuff. It's like, nah, I don't really want to do this.
That's
But
probably why you like streaming at home too. I get that.
yeah,
Like, how many in the chat? I know you guys are already posting, but who's introverted, extroverted? If you're a mix, drop it in the chat. I'm curious to see what you guys are. We got Miss Chelly in the building. Good to see you as well. K Maculate says he's.
what's
Oh,
up,
I
Miss
could
Shelley?
kind of see that. I thought you were a mix. And I thought this girl Xtina was a mix too, introverted and extroverted. Miss Chelly, what are you? Are you introverted or extroverted or a mix? DJ Candy B says definitely an introvert with a Showtime persona as well. Interesting.
Showtime. Huh? Okay.
Yeah, Showtime. Yeah. Okay, that's good. Oh, she says she's a mix. I don't know. I find as I get older, I'm like, okay, I'm good, like you, going out once a month and then heading home and just relaxing and chilling. I don't know if it's just getting older or if it's I don't know. Who knows, right?
Could be a mix. Could be a mix.
Could be
Yeah.
a mix, yeah. Blissfully dope says introvert definitely. Um oh, not your average guy says, let's see here, not overly introverted or extroverted. I would have
So what is
thought
that?
you were
What is that
extroverted.
combination?
It's like a mix. What did they call it, guys? There's a name for it. I don't even
Ambivert. Yeah,
That's
you
it.
got it. Ambivert.
Ambivert? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, I agree with you, Miss Chelly. As you get older, like I'm happy going to a party from 2 to 8 p.m. and then heading home, like dancing, being crazy out there, having fun, hyping up the crowd, and then you can get home before 10 p.m. or midnight. That is perfect. But I think at our age, you don't really want to be going out at midnight or 11 p.m. You know what I mean? I don't
No,
know.
no.
No?
I no,
But
I'm with you. I don't want to be out there at
even though we
midnight.
stay out late, like we're up late, I'm sure
No,
you
I'm
are as
up
a
late. Yeah,
DJ.
for sure.
Like
Yeah,
we are all night hawks. Most DJs were always working on something or doing something late at night. But yeah, I'd rather be inside, than out there, I guess, late at night. Um, oh, not your average guy says, thanks for the classification. Now we know. Um,
ambiverts.
okay. So the Skrillex Tina says, I'm an outgoing introvert mostly. Interesting. So you guys are fun. Like, yeah. And I do notice that on Twitch. I think a lot have told me they're introverted, but in the chat, it's like they're able to express themselves and be more extroverted, but they're not normally like that, like in real time. I think
Hmm.
I was having a conversation with my mod with that. I thought that was interesting. I'm like, really? So you never know, right?
The chat is
Um,
a different space. It's a different energy. It's like, it's intimate, but it's in a group. I know, it depends on the room you're in. Uh, a lot of people they're like a whole different person, and in one chat, and you see them in another chat, and they're reading the room, right? They're picking up on the energy, and so they could play around or joke, or they can just be serious and listen. So it's yeah, I like that. I like seeing different things like that. Trying to figure people out. Like, what are you doing? Who are you
oh,
really?
yeah. Do you think people are really the same? Because I know my real time friends are like, listen, girl, people online are not the same. You don't know how they live their lives like in real time. So my friends have a different opinion, kind of always warning me, because I'm such a chatty catty or friendly or maybe a bit more trusting person. But they always say no. Like online and the internet is. So do you think that people are actually the same? Like when you get to know people like we have in our chats, do you think they're kind of actually the same online as they would be in real time or offline, or no? Or do you think people
Some
kind
of
of
them.
put
Some of them.
different personas or
Yeah.
different things?
Yeah. I think some of them are.
Mhm.
Um, I think it doesn't take much for you to pick up on that. Some people are good at fooling people. But for the
Hmm.
most part, you have a conversation with them, or you see them in certain scenarios. You can kind of pick up on it and be like, oh, wait a minute, this person is. Or you pick up on their energy, like, there's something off there. That they're acting. This is not really who they are. Um, it's kind of like it reminds me of that commercial. Uh, that commercial. Where basically, it was saying like, if it's on the internet, it's true, right?
Hmm.
So the person was like, well, it was on the internet, so it must be true. Um, I don't feel that way. Like I go in chats and I kind of read the room and I see people, certain people, oh, okay, they a fool. And then there's other people you're like, oh, they just messing around right now. They're not really, they just having a good time.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I wouldn't trust them till you talk to them
Hmm.
personally.
Interesting. Like you mean like talk to them in real time, right?
Yeah,
Huh.
yeah.
Okay.
When you
Yeah.
can hear their voice and have a real conversation. Yeah. Until then, it's like I think about this, and I've said this before.
Mhm.
With myself, I think I give off a very, I don't know. Well, let me ask you. This
Mhm.
isn't it's a discussion. What kind of vibe do I give off to you?
Um, I feel like I have to talk to you more to you seem like a friendly guy. You definitely seem a lot more introverted for sure. When you first came on backstage, guys, he was saying "ma'am" to me, so that kind of took me off guard for a second. I'm like, oh, okay, because like guys don't normally say like yes, ma'am. Yeah, like you could tell the southern manners you have. I feel like you're an observer. That's the vibe I get from you. I feel like you can kind of sit and not say much, but you're observing people. Like, to see kind of what character they are or if you could trust them or not. That's kind of the vibe I get a little bit from you. I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah, you
Yeah.
seem like a nice, like sweet kind of, sweet person, I think, you know,
Thank you. But see that
like a big
didn't
old teddy
interrogate you
bear
that.
too. Yeah, this girl like
I did
Stina
not
says
interrogate you.
he interrogated me. What did he do? What did he do to you? This girl like Stina, let me know.
Just because I'm interested in like what you're doing. That's an interrogation. But
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
I
not
listen, but
interrogation. Listen.
that works for me, right? Like for people to view me that way, and it's I'm not saying it's not true. It's just
Mhm.
not all me, right?
Mm.
But what you see, yes, that is me. Um,
Hmm.
but then, there's other like I can be like really quiet, where you're like, man, is he here? Like, is he in the room?
Mhm.
It's just like different things. But you know, what people see, and I think that's one of those things that you can kind of pick up on, right? And I'm not saying that I use it in a nefarious or like a where I'm just trying to you know use it to my advantage in a kind of way, but it's just like yeah, this is how I am. This is what I want to share with you. Like
Mhm.
this soft this soft part of me in a sense, but yeah, I think a lot of people you can pick up on it, right? You'll be like, wait a minute, this isn't really who they are. Like you just let
Hmm.
them keep talking. Just go
Mhm.
ahead, keep talking. We'll get down to the bottom of it. Can't he be okay? So I'm reading the chat. Basically, what they're telling me is they don't want me asking them questions. Okay,
Yeah, I was
okay.
wondering, like all these ladies are saying that you interrogate them or grill them. DJ Candy, this girl Xtina. Oh, okay, Immaculate says you got really good manners, which is
Thank you,
true. You
sir.
do. I was
Thank
like,
you.
oh, I
I
was taken
appreciate
back.
that.
I was like, oh, I'm like, oh, he said ma'am to me. I'm like, is everything okay? I'm like, oh, okay. I was a little taken back. I was like, oh, okay. Now, can you say lady? Can you say lady and ma'am? No, I was joking. Like, well, they do that down south, ma'am, miss, and lady. And then they tip their hat at you too, which is it's so sweet. Oh my gosh. I need to book a trip down south. But anyways,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, they don't do that anywhere else. So
They don't.
here,
Come on down
no.
to a rodeo. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Over here they'll like push you. They'll push you over and for a subway seat. And then they'll look the other way. So if they see a woman or an old lady with a cane walking on the subway,
Uh huh.
they'll literally look the other way, guys, to ignore her so they don't have to, because no one
To
gets
get
that.
up.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
bad. It's so horrible sometimes in big cities. So I definitely miss the South.
Yeah, I'll
Um,
tell you a story. When we had just moved down, right? And we went to Walmart,
mhm.
and I'm in the aisle, and there's this older lady a little bit further down from me, and she's like, sir," and I'm thinking, does she think I work here? Like what's she serving me for? What's going on? So I turned, I was like, yes, ma'am. And she was like, oh, I was just wondering if you could help me with this. Like she wanted me to grab something off the shelf.
Mhm.
And that was like, I don't know why that sticks with me, but it was an experience for me to be like, it's different here. Like
Yeah.
this is what real Southerners and Southern hospitality feels like. Like that's what it sounds like. Um,
Mhm.
so coming from Chicago, I know exactly what you're talking about. Keep your head down. You just you you just focus on doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Mhm.
If you got somewhere to be, hurry up and get there. But here it's a lot slower. It's a lot more just it's just nicer. It's different. You should come. If
Yeah,
you
I
haven't been
definitely
to
should.
Texas, you should come to like a
I've been to
rodeo or
Dallas.
the state fair.
I went to Dallas on my own in Houston a long time ago. I used to I actually went, I don't know if you're familiar with Mega Fest, but I went there like
Okay.
ages ago, like years ago.
Mhm.
Um and that was pretty big in Dallas. I don't know about your bugs though, because all I heard in the bushes was like "Sss, sss," and it wasn't a man going "Sss." Like if you go to the Jamaican area here,
It could have
um,
been.
my Jamaican friends are gonna kill me. You go to the Jamaican friend area here, and all the Jamaicans are like, "Sst, sst, sst," like from the bushes at you, like trying to say hi to you. But
Uh-huh.
you go to Dallas, Texas, and they're like, "Sst." I'm like, what in the world is that? That is not a man hissing at you. Like, are your crickets like this big? Like there was
Yes.
something in your bushes in Dallas. I don't know if it was a snake. I don't know if they were crickets. I don't know if it was a man, but we were all screaming and running when we were going down the sidewalk. And that was in Dallas. Was that a snake
We
or were
got a
those
little bit of
crickets?
everything. It probably
Ew.
wasn't a snake.
Gross. Ew.
More than likely, it was, just a really, really big bug. I've seen some big bugs,
Ew.
but that's
Ooh, they
because it's
have big
always hot.
bugs. Oh, really? They have really
It's
big
always hot
bugs?
down here.
Ew.
Yeah.
They have big bugs in Dallas or in Texas?
Hmm.
Like, do they bite or are they the June bugs? Like those big, ugly, ugh, I'm getting creeped out right now. Those
Whatever,
little
whatever you can think of.
bugs that fly?
Hmm.
Ew. I can't do it.
Whatever you can think of.
And that didn't freak you out, like coming from Chicago to
Yeah.
seeing that?
No, I did. Yeah.
Oh,
But you get used to it, you know.
you get used to it? Like just
Yeah.
swatting it?
Listen, they're not hanging around in my house. If I go out and see them, that's one thing, but they don't bother me. I don't bother them.
Ew.
Uh,
Do they have lizards out there too, or is that's more Florida, I think?
that's definitely more Florida, or maybe the further south you go. Again, I'm kind of north, so I'm closer to Oklahoma. But I
Oh,
think yeah, absolutely. The
okay.
further south you go, San Antonio, um, yeah, like along the coast for sure.
It's pretty multicultural too, right? Like in, Dallas, I noticed that. I was actually a bit surprised because you always hear, like, the South is a bit more segregated, but I noticed when I went to Dallas, it was, like, very multicultural, like African American, Spanish, like, just a mix of people, you know?
Yeah, African, yeah, from all
Mhm.
over. A lot of for whatever
Ew,
reason, I should have looked into it a little bit more, but
gross.
the,
Ugh, I don't like bugs. Sorry, I'm such a city girl, it creeps me out. Like, it literally gives me creeps. Yeah. She
well,
said she saw a roach in the mall in Dallas. Ew,
how do you
gross.
know it's a roach? How
I'd
do you know it's a roach in
freak
there?
out. Oh my gosh, I'd freak out. I can't. I can't, guys. Ugh.
But it is multicultural. There's a lot of people who came over from, I say, across the pond, basically,
Mhm.
Africa and Europe, um, that it has really shown in the last few years. Um, we have a lot of people from the Middle East here. Um,
Okay. Oh, that have come. Oh, wow. Oh,
yes,
yeah, in
with
Texas, probably a lot of Mexicans with the border, right? Like, opening or
absolutely,
yeah.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, they like to stay south for the most part, but yeah, we they come up. Um,
Mhm.
and it's interesting. I don't see as many, you know, Black Americans
Really?
here.
In Texas?
Yeah, and that's a big. Now, I will say that's a big change for me because
I noticed a lot. Well, maybe because I was at MegaFest, so it was predominantly
right.
African American. It was like
Plus,
a few hundred.
You in Houston. Was that in Houston?
No, it was in Dallas. There's a few
Oh,
hundred
you did
thousand
say Dallas.
people there,
Okay,
but they had a lot of people from BET and a lot of like Boris Kojo and Nicole Parker, like all these Tony. I can't remember all their names, but a lot of celebrities. Uh,
right.
Tasha Campbell, like a lot of them, just walking right by you. You know, it was
But see, that's
insane.
different, right? Those are stars. So a lot of
Mhm.
times people will fly in, right?
Mhm.
But
Oh, yes, you're
as
right.
far as like if you go like I've been downtown, I've been all over. So I've been to different places and I look around, I don't see many people like me. And it's not a terrible thing. It's actually it's a good kind of different because it forces you to, you know, be a little bit more diverse and accepting in what you see. When I again, I'm from Chicago, so I lived on
Mhm.
the South Side the entire time I the entire time I lived there. So when you think about, like, if you it, I could literally show you on the map, like, Chicago is one of the most segregated cities out there.
That's what
Um,
people have told me, which really shocks me, actually. Like, people from Chicago
it's
always tell me that. They even
yeah.
say New York is like that, which surprises me because, like, it's so diverse. But
Hmm.
my father always says traveling and living are two different things.
Yes.
So just because you travel doesn't, you're seeing things from a different perspective than if you were to live.
Yeah.
But yeah, lots of people have told me that. That's very sad, actually, to me, because I
It,
love Chicago. So.
it's just a different way of life, right? It's
Mhm.
only shocking when you see someone like the South Side was just like, for the most part, I could count probably on two hands how many times I saw someone that wasn't black, like, realistically.
Mhm.
Up until high school. When I went to high school, that's when I started to see more um, diverse, um, like, diversity in race. But for the most part, I hung out, ate with, grew up with black people on the South Side, and it's a beautiful thing to have, to feel that kind of unity. But then at the same time, it's like, well, what am I missing? So moving down here again, it was a challenge, but it's something that has helped me grow, not just as a DJ, but as a man. Like,
Mhm.
I'm very fortunate, and that's probably one of the main reasons why I won't go back to Chicago, just because I don't want to go back to that feeling.
For
I
sure.
like meeting
Different
meeting
people,
people, seeing, yeah,
for
meeting
sure.
people, seeing them, and talking to them, and seeing their culture, right? Because that's the beautiful thing about here. They're still building, right? We still got back roads. You don't have to drive far to see a farm with steer, goats running around, chickens. You don't have to drive far. Like, it's literally around the corner from me, right? And I
Mhm.
live in a city. So they're still building. And with that, now you can kind of shape, the area, shape the city, shape the town. And so you start to, in doing that, they have these different events that people want to put on. And then you go and see some of these things. You see how they're dressed, right? You learn about Holy, right? You see, like, and this is in no way that I'm trying to be disrespectful, but you go down by Cowboy Stadium, and you go to, Texas Live, and you see, like, this just rows and rows of, like, um food trucks for tacos, and just different cuisine. And it's a beautiful thing. Chicago, I never experienced that, right? Chicago feels
Wow.
like it's
That's
behind the
crazy.
times
I could
with that. So
never I can't even imagine, as much as I love Chicago, now that you're telling me this, I couldn't even imagine living in a place where you don't have friends from other backgrounds. Like, I cannot even fathom that because, like, have you ever been to Toronto, actually, or no?
no,
Yeah, you
no,
have to
I'll
come to
probably go next
Toronto.
year though.
You gotta come, you gotta come, and you gotta message me when you do. "Hey, it looks like we just got a raid in. Club
Oh
Force."
yeah.
Thank you guys for coming through. Appreciate you. Club Force with the raid. Thanks for coming through, you guys. Appreciate you. We got DJ Harmonix, DJ The Boss Lewis, DJ RL Breezy. We're talking about Chicago. Maybe you can add a few things on your opinion because I know he's a true guy, like from Chicago guy. We
Hmm.
got DJ T Rail. Thank you for coming through as well. We got, let's see, TR Mix. Yes, says Toronto is a big melting pot. And yeah, thank you guys. DJ The Force, make sure you guys are adding Club Force in the room as well. I'll try to do a shout out in a sec. Oh, I think someone already did a shout out. Okay, great. So make sure you guys are adding Club Force, you guys. DJ The Force, we did a great interview together. Also, DJ Funklore, we did an amazing interview together. This guy's like opened up for like, or worked with Ice Cube and Snoop and so many amazing Lauren Hill. So many, well, I know he's got a interesting story about Lauren Hill. So you guys could check the replay. But he's really worked with a lot of incredible people, DJ Funklore. So make sure you guys are adding him too. But thanks for coming through. So we're just in the middle of talking about Chicago, you guys, and how it is there compared to now he lives in Dallas. Make sure you guys are adding G class underscore as well is his ID user ID here. Make sure you guys are adding him and checking his show. Um, yeah, you got to come out to Chicago, to Toronto. Like, I can't even fathom if you don't have another friend from another culture here, like something's terribly wrong for sure because it's so like when you come up here that's the first thing you'll notice, you know? And you'll see the most interesting mixes uh that are together. If you just sit at the mall and you're just watching people watching, like you'll see like, you know, a Chinese person with an Iranian person, you'll see a West Indian with like just it's so outside the box when you're looking at couples
Yeah.
and even you know how we were talking about judging earlier, but like that's one thing I noticed. I thought I was diverse coming from a small city, but when I moved to Toronto, I just sat at the mall, people watching. Like I was just amazed, you know? I think the trippiest thing for me was going to a reggae festival, the Irie Fest, and I saw this Chinese, like fully Chinese woman, and she started like winding down to reggae, and then all of a sudden she got on the mic and she had like a Jamaican, like she was speaking
The
patois,
accent.
and I was
Yeah.
like, "What?" I've never seen this in Winnipeg or across Canada in my life. Like I am so tripping out right now because it was the first time I actually saw an older Chinese lady that could really wind, right? Like to reggae music. I'm like, what? And then that's when you meet other people and they explain to you, hey, Jamaica is definitely like a collective of so many different people, right?
Yeah.
It's not just one ethnicity or a few, it's like everyone. And I think that was the first time where I actually saw someone with the accent and dancing, but she was like, looked fully Chinese. So for me, that like tripped me out. You know, that was probably maybe about 15 years ago, you know? So yeah, but you got
But
to
I'm
come to
sure it's different
Toronto.
now.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, it's way,
Oh
way
yeah.
diverse. Now it's nothing because you see a lot of, you know, intermixing. That's normal here. Like, if you're not out here, then something's wrong. If you don't have other friends from different cultures, then, like, that wouldn't fly. I don't definitely wouldn't fly in Toronto, you know? But
Hmm.
you guys gotta visit. You gotta seriously visit. I think you would like it, you know? So and just looking at you, now we're gonna blow you up. Let's see here. Yeah. Just looking at you, do you ever get people where people think you could be Spanish a little bit too? Like have a Spanish background? Do you ever get that or no?
I don't
Like if you
know.
came up here, people could you could probably even pass that and even like West Indian, you know,
I've
different.
I've I've heard West Indian. I think
Yeah, total. Yeah, you could.
Spanish. I don't know. Maybe
Yeah,
South American, Jace.
South
Okay.
American. Yeah, he says South American. Let's see. Yes, your meetup did look amazing, DJ RL Breezy. So we were talking about, he said that Chicago is pretty segregated. What do you think, RL Breezy, from your perspective, like teaching and I know you're definitely a true Chicago. Have you met RL Breezy in real time or no?
I no, I haven't had the
Oh,
pleasure of
you
meeting him
haven't?
just yet.
Ah, you got
One
to
of these
go
days I
to,
will though.
yeah, his Chicago group as well. So what do you think, RL Breezy? Do you think it is like where people kind of
Jace
mix or
Jace
do
is from
you?
Chicago too.
Oh, Jay Swan. Oh, Jay Swan
Hmm.
says it's still divided. Wow, that's interesting. So someone like me or like say, I don't know, maybe Jay Swan or like a few others, like you would you be able to walk into the south side of Chicago? Like someone with my look or no? Would that be like a big
Yeah, come on.
no-no to walk in?
No, there's no there's nobody with a swatch, checking
No, no, no,
at a
I
door or
know.
nothing. This is yeah, absolutely. You'll be good. Um
Yeah.
I would be, to be honest, I probably would be more concerned with what's happening up north than out south. But that's
Oh,
just
okay.
me.
Yeah.
But I mean, either way, you don't want to be walking around Chicago, too much. Just hang around downtown, right? Like where you went
Oh,
when you
that's
were
what
there
we
last time.
normally do. No, the reason
Yeah.
why I'm asking too, because my brother, when he was much younger, built homes in the south side of Chicago, and they
Okay.
had this African American lady pull him in. Like she was much older, and she's
Uh-huh.
like, "Are you crazy? Like you should not be in this area. Like someone like you or with your ethnicity, no, like you shouldn't be in this area." I don't know if
Maybe
he
you on the
lost
where
his
you
team or what happened, but she literally pulled him
you might have
in
been
her
out
place.
west.
Oh, I don't
Out
know.
west it
I'm
gets a
not
little
sure.
sticky.
Oh,
Gets a little
okay.
sticky, but out south, I mean, just don't hang around the 40s and the 50s. You'll be okay.
Oh,
40s, 50s,
I
maybe
can
some
go
60s in
anywhere.
there.
I'm fine. I'll talk to everyone. Trust me. I usually do.
Oh, hey,
Let's see
I
here.
love to hear the stories.
Yeah, there's just too many. Let's see. RL Breezy says there are many places where we can all congregate, especially downtown or around the loop. Okay. And then he says, don't be coming for us out. Oh, he said, don't be coming for us out west,
But
folks. Uh oh.
but Breezy, come on, man. Like the West. Listen, I've been on the West Side, and I was like, I don't really want to hang out over here. Like, let me go back out south. And it's not like I wasn't in the hundreds. Like I grew up 79th and Western, and we were in South Commons, and um what's the other one where Jennifer Hudson is from? Why can I never remember this? Um but yeah, like these are all areas that I grew up in. So
Hmm.
yeah, I never really liked the West Side.
Oh, I love Chicago. I
But
don't
that's
care
the
where
funny
I am
part
in
because
Chicago. It's such a great city.
that's where Chicago Stadium is, on the West Side. So
Hmm. Oh, DJ the boss, Lewis, are you from Chicago as well?
77th and Jeffrey.
Stay away from 77th and Jeffrey. The only time I ever felt I don't normally feel fear at all because I talk to everyone, but the only time I ever felt a little bit of fear is going to Detroit. That was
Oh,
a little crazy when you turn down a wrong corner. You're like, "Oh, wow. I'm definitely not in Toronto right now," you know? Like, that was the only time, I think.
well,
Uh, it
yeah,
was
but
interesting. Hmm?
well, how'd you get out of it? What happened? Did
I
you
don't
just
know. We
flash the
started
smile
yelling.
and
No, we started yelling, screaming. We're like, "Oh my gosh, there's people like walking in the middle of the road in the middle of the dark." Like there'd be people just jumping like in front of your car everywhere and I don't know, our GPS wasn't working, so we just kept going further and further into
uh
probably not a great area
okay.
and then we just started screaming like us girls, we didn't know what to do, you know. I don't know. Anyways, whatever. We made it back okay. And then
Okay.
on top of that, when you go back to the hotel, when you have hotel staff there be like, "Oh, you didn't get shot. Oh, you made it back." And they would say that every day, every night to us,
It was
you
just
know?
messing with
I'm like,
you. They was
I
just
don't know if
messing with
they're
you.
messing, man. They got t-shirts out there too, right? I don't know if they're
What, like I
messing.
survived Detroit or something like that?
Yes, there was like 15 homicides in downtown like that weekend. Like we're not used to seeing that. We're used to maybe 30 in Canada, and that is high. Like that is 30 is very high. Like that
Yeah.
known as homicide capital if
In
you have
all of
30,
Canada?
40.
Or are you
Well,
saying
not
in
all. No, no,
Toronto?
no, city. No, no, in Winnipeg. They're known
Oh,
as
okay.
homicide capital, so they get like maybe about 30, 40 homicides a
A
year.
year?
Now hearing 15 in a day, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, like where am I?"
Oh, well, yeah.
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 Oh, they
I
said stay
understand what
out
you're
of
saying.
Inglewood.
Yeah, I used to, yeah. I grew up in Inglewood
Oh
too,
my
so
gosh, sounds like
I
Baltimore.
would recommend you stay out of there as well.
I've been to Baltimore too. I just feel like if you're friendly with people, they'll even if they're quite opposite, like, they kind of leave you alone. Like they're okay. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
you give people respect and hopefully they give it back to you, I think. And
Yeah.
and that's
Just
that's
don't
it.
look like you're up to something. Keep your head down. That's one thing, and that's the interesting thing. Like, okay, so we were talking about the differences in between Chicago and Dallas. That's
Mhm.
one of the things also, like I was always, and I noticed it. We would go out to eat, and I'm sitting facing the door. I'm always uneasy. I'm always looking to see who's around, what's going on, who has what. Um, we would go in the store. Um, my wife at the time would sometimes she have her purse open. I'm like, what's wrong with you? I'm always checking. I was always looking. I'm always uh, just surveying, seeing what's going on, you know. But when I came down here, that just kind of subsided. It took a long time, don't get me wrong. Like I'm still kind of that way. Like I still want to watch and see what's going on. But it was never as bad as it was when I was in Chicago and just growing up. And I didn't know that it was that way. Like that I had developed this until I came to Dallas and I just was like this is different. Like I've been feeling this way for years. I never even noticed it. So
Mhm.
that's like a big difference. Big difference.
Wow. And then people talking to you, do you feel like that was a bit weird, like in the South? Because everyone tells you their life story, I feel like, at the bus stop. And
Yeah,
here in a big city, all my friends consider that mentally ill. They're like, "Why are they saying hi to me? I don't got time." Like, they're all like that. No offense to any of my friends. I don't think they watch my show, but they're very much like that, like, very,
yeah.
like, "Okay, it's a bit weird." I'm like, "What? Someone being friendly or just saying hi to you or how are you? That's weird?" Like, I don't know. But I find the South is very much like that. They'll tell you their
You can talk
story
to anybody.
and
Yeah,
then they leave. You never see them
yeah,
again, right?
yeah. No, you're right. I had an experience. I think it was last weekend. I was with my parents and my father. We were walking a little bit. My father saw this guy with plants in the front of his house, and he came out. Excuse me. And he, started asking about the plants, and the guy like stopped and was telling him about what kind of plants he's got, and yeah, I hope to plant them this year, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, what? Why are we? What are you doing? Like, can we just go? And it's just, if it's one of those things. I agree. There's been times in Chicago when I'm working, I
Mhm.
from the time I leave the house, I don't say a word until I get to work. Come
Hmm.
back home, from work, I don't say a word to anybody. Just keep your head down and keep going, right? You don't look around trying to see what people are doing, and you just kind of stay to yourself. It is completely different here.
Oh,
Like you
yeah.
said, it's completely different.
Wow. Was it hard, like, if you grew up in a certain area, like, kinda hard I don't know if you ever got in trouble or anything like that, like, kind of going a different path than maybe if you saw certain things, like, in your environment too? Or was it not hard for you?
No, it wasn't hard for me. I was never around stuff like that. Like for me,
Mhm.
we moved because we used to live this place called London Town Homes. So we grew up there for about maybe 5 6 years, and then we moved a little bit west of that, but we were still out south. We moved a little bit west of that to a different area, and so I never really experienced somebody trying to get me into doing something like really bad. And plus, I always played. I didn't play like team sports, but I was always playing some kind of sport and doing something active. So I didn't really have time for that other stuff.
Yeah, it
So I
looks
was
like you'd
fortunate.
be were you ever in football or like, you definitely seem like you could be a footballer.
I was much smaller
Oh.
in my high school and 20s, so
Mhm.
I played every sport. Played basketball. They wanted
Oh,
me to run
nice.
track. I played softball. Like I played everything.
Okay.
Golf. They had just started up a golf team. So
Oh, cool. How tall are you? Look tall. How tall? I mean, it's kinda hard to tell with you
oh,
sitting,
I'm
but
short. I'm
really? You
short.
look like I thought you were tall, like 6'4". We're gonna
I'm
zoom in on
short.
him
I'm just
again.
6 feet.
Oh,
Just six
yeah.
feet.
Okay, that's what I thought. I thought at least have you ever done, like, bouncing or, like, security? I feel like you could do that too, like, be a security
No, I'm
guard.
a I'm I'm a lover. I'm not a I'm not a fighter. It's just
But
the look.
security guards aren't fighters. They're just, they can.
Well, when they have to be, yeah. I just have an
Yeah.
intimidating look,
I don't
right?
think you
Like
have
this
an
is something I
intimidating look. I feel like you look
well
like a big old teddy bear. Look
you
at
haven't
guys.
seen me in Chicago.
You think he's got an
It's
intimidating look? I don't think he does. Look at that. Look at that beard. He doesn't have. Look at those glasses. I don't see any intimidating look. He's like, okay, zoom out on me. You don't. You're
no, I'm
intimidating
cool with the suit.
at
I'm just
all.
saying I do have a when you in Chicago, it's different.
Ooh,
Like you
this girl
develop this
Queen is
look.
calling you Fluffy Daddy. What the
Well,
heck?
yeah,
She's got some
I
nicknames for you.
I call
What's
myself that.
what's going on? Oh, I was gonna say, what's
I
going on between you two? You got
call
nicknames here?
myself.
Is something going on that I don't really know about?
I I've been doing a IRL workout stream
Oh,
called Fluffy Daddy Workout
oh,
Vlog.
really?
So
That's
yeah,
hilarious. So explain that then, Fluffy Daddy. That's
the
cute. I
Fluffy
like
Daddy
that.
part.
Yeah,
I'm
that's funny.
fluffy and I'm a father. So you know, it just it just works.
I like it. We're all fluffy. We've all got him. Trust me, I've gotten fluffy. Everyone's freaking got him fluffy here. Uh, spending so much time streaming. Okay, so that's the name you made for yourself. That's funny. That's good. You could at
It's
least like poke fun at yourself too, right? Or you're not.
somebody
You know,
suggested it,
I like
and
it.
so I was like, yeah, that works. Yeah,
Hmm.
I'm a part of the Fluffy Daddies, I guess.
The fluffy.
That's
You should
cool.
do a fluffy daddy raid train. Have you thought about that?
No,
No? Or a
no,
Zaddy raid train, Fluffy Daddy Zaddy raid train.
I
I
think
just
they have
found out
those
what a
too.
Zaddy was from all you Americans. I didn't know what that meant.
Oh,
Like, what's a
that's okay.
Zaddy? They're
What
like
is a zaddy?
an older man, I think, trying to
Hmm.
approach like a younger woman. So my
Oh,
mods bug me. They're like, "You always got the zaddies after you." I'm like, "What the heck is a zaddy? We don't say
is
zaddies."
that
And
wait? R.O. Breezy, is that what a zaddy is?
that's what I heard.
Xtina,
Isn't
is
that?
that what a zaddy is?
Yeah, I heard that. They're older men
You're
that
almost a
go
zaddy.
for really younger women, right? Like a Ron Isley. A Ron Isley that's 80 going for
I,
someone that's like 40.
that the
I don't know
boss
if it's a
Lewis.
sugar
That's what I was
daddy.
thinking. Sugar, more like a he's
Is
trying
it
to
a
be your
sugar
sugar
daddy?
daddy.
Oh, well, I wouldn't mind. If it's a zaddy, is zaddy. No, I do mind. But if the zaddy is like the Silver Fox gang, we can
Uh-huh.
negotiate. I will go for any
Oh
zaddy if he's part of it. Have you guys seen the Silver Fox gang?
no. Oh, you're
No?
talking about. I know what you're talking
Like
about.
those
Yeah.
group of men that are silver
Mm-hmm.
foxes and they walk in?
In this, they work in the suits.
Ladies, would those be considered zaddies? The Silver Fox gang? Yeah, definitely the Silver Fox gang. Or I imagine Ron Isley more so is the zaddy. Oh, you said it's same as Sugar Daddy. Oh, okay. Well, you know. Oh man. I don't know where we're going with this conversation. DJ RL Breezy says I'm applying for the Silver Fox gang game. He's
I think he
applying.
meant gang. But
Yeah. The
yeah,
gang. I can see that. I can because he's got a funny character too. Like he's funny. So maybe you guys could both do that. You could be the fluffy zaddy sugar daddy as well
the
and dye your beard.
fluffy, zaddy, sugar
Sugar
daddies.
daddy. Hey, that rhymes. Fluffy daddy. Sugar. I like that. You guys should do a raid train and do it all together, you guys. Like a zaddy raid train, RL Breezy, you, and some other guys. Would you do one? That would be hilarious.
Probably not.
DJ Funkle. Yeah, but it would be very popular though. Forget about the men. You guys are doing shows for the women. So you should I'm telling you, if you did some type of raid train like that, it would be very popular because no
But
one's doing it.
we could do something else. It doesn't have to be a raid train. We could just get together and like stream together, and then we can show off
Everyone
maybe
does a million
different.
raid trains.
We, yeah, we could just show off our different attire maybe. But
Yeah, that's true. They've done that before, like the suit and tie raid train. Oh, so she pulled up the Urban Dictionary. It says a very handsome,
A
sexy,
zaddy.
mature
Okay.
man. That's true. Yes, why don't you guys do that? That would be fun. RL Breezy. He says he's all
The
about the Hoochie Daddy Shorts gang. That would be so funny if you did the Fluffy Daddy, Sugar Daddy Ray Train, but you added the
in our
Gucci
hoochie
Daddy
daddy
shorts?
shorts.
Oh my gosh, that would be so funny. And then you can play the song that, that guy requested to you. What was the song again?
Baby got back. That's what we
Yes.
would do.
Yes, that's perfect. No?
You think so? No, I
Yeah,
don't.
I
I
think it would
don't.
be fun. The ladies would all go, trust me. Listen, you guys could thank me later for these ideas because
Ah,
I'm
okay.
gonna make you guys very popular amongst the ladies. Not like you guys already are, but And then you could add in Jay Swan music because he wears his tank tops and he has a low raspy voice like you. So
Yeah,
he'll
the
add to the
Portland
train.
zaddies. Okay.
Oh man. DJ Chris Camouflage, how you doing? Good to see you. Drop some questions if you guys have any questions for G class. Make sure you guys are adding him. Yeah, make sure you guys add him. No, I think it would be fun. You should just do something outside the box, like just something fun. But I like the fluffy thing. I think that's cute.
I'm
So,
always trying to do something outside the box. Funklor is talking about me being a brooch collector. It's not true, but when we do the when we do
what?
um
Brooch
um
collector?
our jazz cookout raid trains, I try to dress up for them just because there's nobody. I'm not saying that there's nobody doing it, but if my name is on it, I want to try to raise the level of it just a little bit.
Oh, nice. I thought you said roach collector. I was like, we already talked about roaches earlier on in this show in Texas. I did. Funklor, I thought you said roach collector. I was like, ew. We've already talked about bugs earlier on in the show. How you doing, Tasha Star? Good to see you. Make sure you guys are adding her. She does a really dope painting stream show and also talks as well. Shares her stories. Amazing painter, painter, you guys, and very creative. So make sure you guys are supporting Tasha Star as well. She really does a great show, and her paintings are for sale, you guys. So make sure you guys check her out. Um,
Absolutely.
let's see. Yeah, have you seen her? Have you seen her shows or no?
Absolutely.
Oh, you
Yeah,
have.
she's
Okay,
very
perfect.
talented.
Yeah,
And
she
it's
is. She's very,
interesting
very talented.
where it starts because you don't see that often, right? Where it starts to where it ends up. And
Hmm.
I'm always amazed, with the finished product. It's just amazing to me. Like I'm blown away. She did a lion recently. I mean, there's more to it. I'm being very simple, but she did
Oh
a
shoot! I think I'm
one
out.
with a
Oh,
lion that was just
this is why I can't be a mod. Sorry, guys. I think I accidentally pressed raid, like I was trying to do a shout out. This is why I can't be a mod. I'm horrible at this stuff. Sorry, multitasking. Salute. Sorry, go ahead. I interrupted
no. I
you.
was just saying she's dope. I was following up
Yeah,
with
she
you.
is.
She's dope.
Yeah. Yeah, she
I
definitely
think
is.
we did have some questions though.
Okay,
Did I see a question? RL Breezy.
let's see
He
here.
asked a question about the
This one?
last time I visited Chicago and how was that experience. Last time, well, we talked about that. Last time I was in Chicago was June. No, I'm sorry. It was May, the end of May. I came up to do a private event at the House of Blues. Um, it was all right. I'm gonna be honest with you. I
It's all right. It's
my
a house of blues.
it's not it wasn't the event,
Mhm.
the experience, right? So I hate going through can't believe I'm about to talk about that, but I hate going through the airport, right? And going there and coming back, I was searched below my waist. Let's
Oh,
just say it like
wow.
that.
Really?
First time ever, which I'm like, I don't understand this. Why is this happening? Then I'm on the south side I'm at my grandmother's house, and it's like, man, it really bothered me that it felt like the city hadn't been putting money into the south. And then you drive into downtown because I was only there for 24 hours, but you drive into downtown and it's like it just looks so nice here. Like it almost looks like there's a line like dividing downtown or separating it from everything else, right? It's like, no, we're not gonna put money out here. We're gonna put money just right here from this part in, you know. And it was kind of it was hurtful, you know, this place that I
Mm.
grew up in, that it would look like this, because it didn't look like that when I grew up there. Um, but yeah, the event was cool. Like I never the event, you know, besides me forgetting my cord, but the event was cool. It was really it it's always I'm always humbled, you know,
Mhm.
to be able to play for somebody, especially be able to play in that size of a space, you know, the House of Blues, and to be able to see some of the things and meet some of the people that I've met. It's really, really cool. So yeah,
Isn't that
it
where all
was,
the main concerts are or big concerts, House of Blues?
they're spreading out.
Mhm.
You know, they have some outdoor venues that they've built. They have some other venues, but the House of Blues is, I think it'll always be a staple. I think it'll always be a staple
And are
of
you ever
like,
nervous, like, playing there or going back there?
I think just like, you know, when I'm playing on Twitch, you know, you get nervous from time to time. It's just starting off, you know. You're like, I don't know what's gonna happen. What song do I start with? And then all of a sudden, it's just like, you know, let me just pick something and let's go from here. You know, the
Mhm.
first song won't make the set. You know, it's typically moments throughout, and that last song maybe if you set it up right, that last song is the, you know, the money shot. So just do it. So
Yeah,
I
for
try.
sure.
I get a little nervous, but I get over it pretty quick.
DJ Candy says, "What's this background G class has? What's tech support
Tech
next
support
door?"
next door.
Oh, it kind
Yeah.
of looked like
So
Netflix to me, like
yeah,
Netflix type of
that's
background.
the idea. Yeah, it catches your
Oh, I
eye.
thought it was cool. It
Yeah.
does catch your eye.
But yeah, tech support next door. I am a small business owner, and the idea behind it is to help streamers with technical issues so that they can stream confidently. So I help people with OBS. I do stream audits and different things to just kind of help them feel more comfortable about maybe the direction that they're thinking about going or where they are now. So I'm, you know, techsupportnextdoor.com. Free 15-minute consultation. Come talk to me, and you know, we'll see what we can do.
Nice. So make sure, yeah, you guys are definitely adding him and inboxing him too if you guys need anything. So do you do this full time then? Like you do you do that full time and also like streaming?
I do both streaming and that part time. My full time job, I'm a building inspector for a city.
Oh, that's cool. Building inspector. Oh, hmm. You must meet some interesting people,
I do.
ladies, like in maybe aisle 2, maybe when you're building inspecting. I'm just saying,
No,
like
it's typically a bunch of hard legs, just a bunch of guys.
that's what I'm saying.
There's
That's what
nobody
I'm
out there.
saying. Aisle 2. Oh man. Especially if you're a building instructor. I don't know too many building. I think you're the first person that I know that's a building instructor or,
There aren't many.
inspector.
Yeah, there aren't many for sure.
Do you like it? That's interesting what people also do. Like, do you enjoy it or?
This was always part of the plan. Uh,
Mhm.
when I came down here, I got back into, you know, just real. I mean, I'm not gonna go way back, but I got back into the union. It was a plumbers. It's a little different down here. It's a plumbers and pipe fitters union. So I graduated from that program. But when I got back in, I said I want to be an inspector. So I'm I'm working this with the idea of ending there. Right. That's where I want to go. And so graduate the program. Um, was able to, you know, get my hours so that I could take the plumbing license test. Took that, passed it. Got the job at the city. A little while after that, and then was able to take a plumbing inspector test and pass that. And I've been there. It'll be 5 years this year.
Oh, wow. Oh,
So
okay.
yeah,
Congrats. That's awesome. Goes by fast too, right? I'm
it
sure.
does.
Yeah.
It really does.
Wow. So I know, I don't know if you answered that question. I think, so here's his website, you guys. Make sure you guys definitely check it out, techsupportnextdoor.com. And if you guys need any help with anything, definitely message him. Yeah, I do like the backdrop. I like that. And thanks for
Thank you.
raising that too, DJ Candy B. That's a good, I'm glad you mentioned that as well. So he
Thank
can
you, Candy B.
talk about it. Let's see. Oh yeah, RL Breezy says, "Did you feel at home or like a visitor when you go back to Chicago?"
That's a you know, I think I judge it like a visitor. That's bad, right? That's
Hmm.
bad. I judge it like a visitor. But once I'm there, it feels like home. You know, when I see friends and family, it feels like home. But it's hard not to judge it like a visitor. Like this place is, you know, certain. I'm not saying everywhere, but this place is filthy. Um,
Really?
Down here, and
Okay.
it's just yeah, it's become that way. Not
Hmm.
completely, not everywhere, but
That's
it's
so
become that
beautiful.
way.
Like the water, like going through the, buildings. I don't know. It's so
Uh huh.
nice. But that's
Yeah,
downtown, right?
that's downtown exactly.
Hmm.
You come out south, it's a little different. You come on the west side, it's a little different.
Yeah.
And you know, growing up out there, we didn't, you know, where we used to potholes and you know just places looking dilapidated and broken down, and you know you seeing a lot of drug users and alcoholics and just you know just a lot of you see a lot of different things, right? So
Hmm.
again, it's hard. It is.
I
I
think
agree
that's
with you, RL.
everywhere
It is,
though.
but
I feel like that's even here in Canada, right? Like I feel like the world is definitely changing. It's kind of everywhere now, you
well, the
know?
bigger the city, right? Well, yeah, to
Mm.
the world, but the bigger the city, and you know, Chicago's one of the older cities.
Mhm.
And like where I live now, like I said, like Dallas, if you go to Dallas, you'll see some similar things, but it's definitely not at that level, right? And I live, you know, north of Dallas. There's some things out here that I definitely don't see. My sons, like they don't see what I saw at their age. They're 6 and 4. They don't see the
Mhm.
things that I saw, right? They
Hmm.
don't go through the same things. So there's a clear difference. But I mean I always love my city. It's just it's hard not to judge it as a visitor,
Hmm.
you
Yeah,
know.
you've been away for a long time too, a while, right? So, yeah.
Yeah,
If
before then I was away maybe about 3 years, somewhere in there, 3, 4 years.
Wow. So if there's like any event that you could do, like nothing holding you back, you could do a stadium or play in South Africa or play in the White House. I don't know, just anything that comes to mind. What would be your like bucket list for DJing that you would love to do if you had like all the money or connections to be able to do it? What would that look like to you?
Mm, it would probably be DJing at home for the world, like the
Hmm.
world comes to see.
Interesting.
Um, because you know, I'm in my comfort zone. You're here with
Mhm.
me, and we're gonna share this experience together. Let's do it. Let's do it. So, yeah, it'll probably be that. I don't
You're
have
the
a
first
particular
person to
place.
say that. I think that's pretty cool. Like, I've interviewed over 200 people and no one's given that answer. So
Oh,
that's actually a very unique answer. And the fact that you're pretty much already doing it, right? Now it's just getting to
yeah,
the
in a way,
world.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Did you ever have anything surprise you like, when you started streaming on Twitch, like just with different countries or, different people, like anything that kind of stuck out in your mind?
I'm always surprised by someone who, you know, they just popped up out of bed to I don't know, get something to drink or go use the bathroom, and they'll see what's happening on Twitch, and somebody will come in the room and be like, "Hey," and I'm just like, "Hey, what's going on? Welcome in. Who are
Mhm.
you? You know, how did you find us?" And they're like, "Oh, well, I'm in Amsterdam, or I'm in the Netherlands, or I'm in you know some place over there that I've never been to. I've never spoken to anyone over there. I've never seen myself, and they're seeing me. Like that always. I don't think I'll ever." I'll ever get used to that. That experience of just meeting people in that way. It's such an organic way to do it too. You know, to just meet
Mhm.
somebody in that kind of way where they popped in to come see you, and you're just like, hey, how you doing? Okay, well, welcome in. I tell people, don't be a stranger. We got plenty of room. Come on back. So yeah, I would never get tired of that.
That's true. How you doing, Flirt? Good to see you. And it does it has it definitely has a special place. I think a lot of people don't understand that are looking in, like from the outside, say your friends or family, like to Twitch. But even though they're like, oh, well, people are not the same how they are online than in real time. But then I'm sure you've met some people too. Doesn't it feel like almost like instant, like family? Like it feels like when you meet someone, you haven't even met them, right? You don't know how it's
Yeah,
going to be. But I just feel like Twitch is a special place where you do feel like even if you went out for lunch with someone for the first time, like, it feels like you have that connection, right? Like, I feel like that's special on this app compared to any other place or app.
I
What do
think
you think with that?
I don't know how many people I would eat lunch with. I'm just be
Mhm.
honest, but I do understand the connection part, right? There's
Mhm.
certain I had it with well, I discovered it with Friday Night Face Off, right? People still associate me with that, right? They're like, "Oh, you're G Class from Friday Night Face Off," and they've never met me, right? And it's the same thing with this, even though I haven't, like, people call me G Class, right? And this is a name that I came up with for this platform, right? I've gone by a few different names, but I came up with that name for this, right? And people know me by that. Like people have had me on when their family was in the room, and I'm telling
Mhm.
stories. You know I I've talked to people's fathers, sick parents, children. I've talked them through situations, not saying directly like that was the plan, but it happened, right? Like we through this experience, like we've cried together, we've laughed together, we've gone through, what's up, Stirs? We've gone through a number of things in their life, these moments that you don't get back, right? Together, all
Mhm.
because they decided to come into my room and take a chance to listen to what I'm doing, and then maybe type something on the keyboard and say hello, right? It's such a unique thing. I agree with you 100%. There are few places that you can actually have that kind of contact with someone and connect with them so deeply, so quickly, to where you can almost feel like their family. So I agree with you
Yeah.
100%.
That's so true. How you doing, Stirs to Soul? Good to see you as well. Thanks for coming through. Hope you're doing well. And also Flirt, I hope you're doing well. Good to see you as well, you guys. Wow. Let's see here. Uh Yes, I agree. So Flirt says the same thing. Same thing with me and, I guess, myself, how we ended up bonding over, tragedy. I can't even say the word. Sometimes I get,
A
tongue-tied.
little tongue tied. Yeah,
Tragedy. Yeah,
there you go.
exactly. Like, yeah, it's true. It's true because 'cause she's got quite a remarkable story. Her story is a lot like, Tasha Starr's story, and I appreciate that. I appreciate these women and even men, like, right, opening up, and sharing their stories because it's not easy. But Flirt and Tasha have, you know, definitely a same story in common if you've heard both of their stories. So I
Mm.
appreciated both of them really, really opening up their story too. So Stirs is like, are we in aisle 6? I think we were earlier, Stirs. I don't know about now, but I'm just curious, like, normally I don't go like well, no, actually, I do go deep for sure, but I don't wanna make anyone uncomfortable, but I kind of feel like you seem like the type of guy I could ask, different questions to if you're open to it. If not, that's okay. Because normally I ask before my show to not put anyone on the spot, but now that I talk to
Hmm.
you, I'm like, "Hmm, you seem like a guy I could probably, have a conversation with about that. So like
Okay.
for I know this is kind of off DJing, but was there anything that you kind of, and you don't have to if you don't want to go there, that's fine. But was there anything that you kind of went through, like say with mental health or anything that you kind of went through that? Because I know there's some people in the room that have gone through different things, right? Well, we all have really. But was there anything that you had to kind of navigate through, or something like maybe not such a great experience, and trying to kind of like did you find a way to kind of overcome or get through that too? And I know this is kind of
Um,
off DJing, but I was just curious, like if you ever had any
you
type
mean
of.
just like in my life in general?
Yeah, just in general, because some of the stuff we talked about, you being raised in, coming from Chicago, the South Side, then you moving. That's such a big move, and it takes courage. It takes a lot of courage to do that. I don't think people realize like how much
Hmm.
courage that actually takes moving from the Midwest, like, to the South, like, that it takes someone to it does definitely takes more courage to do something like that, and some of the stories you share. So I'm
Hmm.
just curious if you've ever, um, gone through anything. Oh, geez, stirs is like basically anything uncomfortable you wanna talk about. Yeah, I guess now that I'm thinking about Flirt's story and I'm thinking about Tasha's story, it just I don't know, it's kinda making me think,
Yeah.
was there anything? And I
Well,
know that you could probably help people if you wanted to share, but if not, that's okay, you know?
yeah. I don't. I mean, I don't think that my. I've never felt like my stories were any. And it's just personally. I never felt like they were anything special. People go through divorce. People go
Mhm.
through loss. People go through just unforeseen things happening to them in their life. I'm no different. I've gone through a few different things in my life, but I'm an overall positive person.
Mhm.
Um, and it's very interesting to be that way when you're surrounded by a lot of people who are pessimists, or they may not really understand just how negative they view the world. Their experiences have shaped them, so
Mhm.
it makes sense. Um, but I'm typically like a very positive person, not so upbeat to be like chipper,
Mhm.
but I'm definitely even keel. So when I've experienced divorce, going through that, and not being able to see my children the way I want, or just different things, other things in life, um, you get through it one day at a time, one
Mhm.
single day at a time, and you find the thing that makes you feel the most, not necessarily the best, right? Because a lot of times that could be a negative thing, but you want to find a thing that calms you down the most, that makes you feel the most grounded, something that can kind of take away the thought of the pain or the loss for a moment, which for me has been music. It has always been. Um,
Mhm.
me being 41 and finally understanding the power that music has had, the influence that it's had in my life, and the power that it's had to lift me up in some situations where I truly was down, right? I was
Mhm.
truly, um, I was just, out of it, in a way. And music has that power to just pick you up and pull you through some things that just you really did not expect. Which is why this is the ultimate reason, the ultimate reason why I love playing music for people. It for me it'll always come back to that, because music is a part of my life. Um, I love playing music for people because we can connect, and we can share these moments, right? These thoughts, these feelings together. Let's go through it together. When some people sometimes they'll throw in my chat, I'm playing something, they're like, oh, like this is reminding me of this, or I'm feeling like I'm gonna cry right now. Go ahead, right?
Mhm.
Like, don't feel like you're crying by yourself. We're here with you together,
Mhm.
and we're gonna be here with you through this moment. We might not be there once I stop the stream and you go your way, we go ours. But for this moment, for right now, we're here together. So let's go through it together.
Hmm. I love that.
Let's go through it together. So I me playing music has really helped me through those tough moments, and not just and even more so sharing music, right? Because you can sit there in this day, right? That there was a time when we really shared music, or like if I had a CD, you'd be like, "Yo, can I see that? Or can I hear it?" But now I can sit here and go through an entire day and not talk to anybody and just listen to music.
Hmm.
Okay, that's cool, but you're isolating yourself still. Share it, you know, and that's really like sharing that loss, sharing that weight, um, has helped me to carry on in a way. So
Yeah,
yeah.
no, that's awesome. I love that. Yeah, and other people are agreeing in the chat. They said this girl, Xtina, she says music is definitely keeping me sane. Stirs is like if it weren't for the music, none of us would have known each other, which is so true. Especially globally too, right?
Yes.
Around the world. And then he also says, I just said in another stream, God bless the gift of music. Tasha's like, will you cry with me, G class? I feel like you have a very kind heart. Like I can feel that. Like I know we don't know each other like super well, but just sitting down with you and like listening to your voice and like hearing some of the things you've said, I feel like that's why I wanted to kind of pivot a little bit, but I feel like you have like a good heart about you. Um so yeah, continue to, and there's so many people that I know actually that are going through divorces that not too many people know about, that's happening online, but privately
Mm-hmm.
they're kind of going through it as well.
Yeah.
And like what I know you're not the spokesperson for, but do you have any advice? Because I know sometimes like, when you get hurt and you're kind of broken and you're just like, whatever, I'm just gonna do me and go out. And I know I'm talking to some guys that are kind of like that right now, where they're just like, honey flow, I'm gonna be in aisle 6, the entanglement section. I'll see you later. Peace
Oh,
out. Forget your
is that what that's
forget
over
your aisle
there?
2.
Okay, the
And
entanglement
sometimes we'll
section.
battle it, like, offline, not online. I don't think they're listening right now, so I will, say that, but, like, I don't know if I should be asking you because I don't know where you're at, but, like, do you think that's a great idea? Because I don't
We're going
know.
down the
Well, it's
entanglement
kinda
aisle.
like, forget it, I don't trust women, I've been burned, I've been hurt, and, I think everyone has a reason to, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has a reason. I mean, I can't judge it because who knows? I don't know how I would feel if I was married for 20 years. I've never been there and then get a divorce and have some not so great things happen to me. I don't know where I would be? So I
Yeah.
can't judge it, but like I personally think it's a wrong route to go. It's just going to end up you're just going to end up even more broken after all of that, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
music, people, relationships, those things are so temporary. Like if you feel like you could get that fulfilled in you by another human being, it's not going to happen. But that's just my opinion, right? So
Yeah.
I was just curious, like, if you had any advice for anyone, because I know there's people that watch the replays on my show. I know there's people right now in the chat that have either gone through loss or went through kind of a nasty divorce. Like, I don't know, is there anything that you could say that's kind of holding even like yourself up, right? Because that's not
Yeah.
easy.
No, it's not easy. Be kind to yourself. Take things one day at a time, one experience at a time, and ultimately, um, the sooner this has been my case in divorce. right?
Mhm.
There will always be two people, regardless of what one person did to the other. There's always two people made it, and two people were separated from it, right? So you're no longer one. Um, the sooner that you accept your part
Hmm.
in the demise of the relationship, of the marriage, the sooner you can start to really truly heal. You won't heal by getting entangled. It
Mhm.
doesn't work that way because it's not designed to work that way.
Yeah,
You're
it's not
hurt. So that's why you're
designed.
acting, this is
Yeah.
an expression. But if you can really sit down and like examine yourself and say, what did I do wrong?
Mhm.
So I'll tell you, for me, as soon as I did that, I was able to move past any hurt, or any, I guess you would say, like anger that I had, animosity that I might have been carrying. And I was able to really, truly move forward. Now, does that help you when maybe the person does something that kind of, sets you off or annoys you a little bit? That mentality, like I said, the sooner you get to it, when that happens, it doesn't last as long. You know, you
Mhm.
you you can even sit there maybe and be like, you know what, I forgive this person for acting this way. They haven't fully dealt with their hurt. They haven't dealt with their pain from this break. And, I'm sorry for my part in it. But, in order for me to live, I have to accept my part and move forward.
Mhm.
I can't stay in this cycle. So
It's
the
so
sooner you
true.
do it, the better.
How long were you married for? Can I ask? How you doing, Emma Lewis? Good to see you as well.
I
Make
was
sure you guys are
married
checking him, following him.
I was married for 15 years.
Wow, 15 years. So it's almost the same thing as someone else I'm talking to on a few people on Twitch. Yeah. Wow, 15 years. So does it feel weird now that you're like back being single? Like, does it feel a little, because it's 15 years ago is quite different, trust me. And especially if you start dating,
Hmm.
it's a different world from the MySpace days and the LimeWire days, let me tell you, or the eHarmony days. Let me tell you, it's very different out there. Like, I don't know, have you had or like chance to kind of get out back out or not really? Like to meet anyone?
Well, I'm not like a, I'm not much of a dater in that
Mhm.
sense. Again, I'm an introvert, so I'm rarely out. Like,
Yeah, that's
I
true.
go to work and I come
Well,
back
there's
home.
online. I guess there's online,
There is,
but
and I
it's
and
wild,
I
wild west out there.
exactly. That's not my place either. I'm
Yeah.
definitely a type of person, like, I would have to meet you and talk to you, and and then we can see where we stand. Just off those interactions, and then the more we talk, then you move forward. But
Mhm.
um, no, as far as like that part, nah,
You
that's
never
not
know. What about Twitch? You never know. People are meeting on Twitch, eh? They
right.
usually
Listen,
say you should go where like you spend most of your time. That's where you should be meeting someone. So if you're into sports and you're, at a sports event or you spend all your time working in the corporate world, like that's where you should meet. That's what someone told me years ago, which isn't a bad idea.
no,
So,
I
and
mean
they
that
said that
that
you were
it makes
spicy.
sense.
They said you were quite spicy too. They said you're
No,
kind
that
and
that was
spicy.
just that was just one person. She's no,
Well, she seems to
no,
know a lot about you, this girl, Xtina. I don't know. I didn't quite know
no.
this. I'm gonna have to, message this
Xtina
girl,
didn't
Xtina,
didn't say
after.
that.
Hmm?
Xtina didn't say that. That was somebody
Yeah,
else I
she
saw.
did. This girl, Xtina, said it, and she seems to know a
Scroll
little
up,
bit, lot
scroll up.
about you.
You'll
Look
see.
at, look at. She said, "Oh, he's kind and spicy." There you go.
Right,
There's the
but
comment.
she was replying to someone else.
And
Yeah,
Tasha says he's spicy. So these
yeah,
women seem to know you. I haven't seen any. I mean, I've been on your shows. I haven't seen anything spicy.
that's correct. You haven't.
Maybe people change their behavior when I walk by. I don't know. Who knows? Barbara Walters of Twitch. So maybe they change their behavior. But you know what? I'm going to go under a different ID. I'm going to go under Stirs de Soul too. I'm going to put that. I'm going to go under his ID and spy on you a little bit more.
Probably need
Um,
to make a jailbreak.
you need to do a jailbreak right now. I kind of want to know about the spicy behavior here. Let's see. Oh, he's only
So
spicy on other people's shows. Okay. Um, M. Lewis says he's going to spy with me, follows the lead. Oh, Crazy Berrytown says I don't, you don't strike me as spicy. I don't know. I don't, I've never seen that side to him
I'm
before,
not.
guys.
Listen, I am
Okay, I'm going to
I'm
go under your eye.
cilantro paprika.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not spicy at all.
Ah, they say you're pretty spicy. So I find that interesting. Usually the spiciest people are introverted and they say whatever like out there online. I find it interesting, but they're so shy and quiet in person. So
Hmm.
that surprises me. Like, cuz they're very like out there online, very spicy, but they say that they can do that, like but they're not very good at doing that in real time. You know what I mean?
I hear you.
You hear me. Um
I
Yeah.
thought
Oh,
Tasha asked a question.
yes. Okay, I'm gonna scroll up. She says she's professionally spicy. Is that what it is?
Thank you.
Let's see here. Okay, where is that question? I think I saw. She had a great question, Tasha Star, about your kids as well. Was it how do you co-parent? I gotta find that question.
I think that was the question.
Where was it? Okay, you could definitely answer it. Where is it here? I'm trying to scroll up. I just had it. Oh, here we go. It says, "What has co-parenting been like since the divorce?" Great question. That's a good question.
A work in progress. It's definitely not as rough. I'll be kind. It's definitely not as rough as it was
Hmm.
in the early goings. Um, and I think hurt people. You know,
100%.
I I don't I don't subscribe to that thinking. At least and I try my best not to do that.
Hmm.
Um, but definitely, I've experienced that hurt people, just hurting people, just trying to hurt you in ways that you ask yourself, why would you even think to do something like this? But like I say, it's gotten better. It's a everyday thing, and it definitely takes, which is interesting. Um, it takes communication, and it takes compromise. Two
Hmm.
C words that are like extremely important, even in a relationship, for success. But you need it for apparently, which I didn't know, but you need it after a relationship as well. You need to compromise here and there. You need to communicate as best you can. So it's definitely a work in progress. It's a work
Have
in
you ever
progress.
thought it like have you ever been open to like therapy or counseling or I know for men it's like probably a lot more
Co
harder
therapy is that what you're saying? Like co counseling? Is that what you're saying,
or
or just
just
for
like
myself?
counseling, yeah, just for yourself or therapy
Yeah.
or anything because that's tough. They say divorce is, I mean, I don't know if I necessarily agree with that just because I've gone through loss, so I kind of feel very different when someone relates divorce to loss or grief because those are, I feel like those are two different things, but I have heard that divorce is like going through grief for sure. But I don't think those really should be compared to someone that actually lost a partner. Like it's entirely different thing. But I have heard that divorce is grief in its own sense, like you're going through, well, you are going through a loss just in a different way, right? Through divorce.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
But with
Um.
men, they don't
But
have a
there's
lot of outlets. Like you guys don't have a lot of yes, grief comes in all forms. Yes, I agree. I agree with you. The only thing I don't like is when like friends compare like a partner dying to their divorce. Like that
well, their
makes me feel
marriage
a little
died.
uncomfortable. Yeah.
Their
But
mar-
when they say that that is worse grief than your grief, I don't that's where it gets a
Well,
little
yeah, I
strange
agree
for
with
me,
you. You should
right?
never compare
Yeah, you should never
how
compare
someone
grief.
feels, right?
Exactly,
Like
exactly.
I can never say, "Oh man, you lost so and so or such and such." I know exactly how you feel. I can never say that
Yeah,
because I felt the way I felt, you felt the way you felt. Like that's not fair. But I can say that I empathize with that feeling, right?
yeah,
I because we have both felt loss in one way or another. So if a person, whether they lose someone in divorce or in death, man, two D words, um, it's loss all the same, and it's
yeah,
grief attached to it, and how you deal with it is individual, right? Because it's not even it's an unnatural feeling to lose someone in death.
100%. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's the comparison. I don't like I agree with you, like, the divorce, I agree with, what all you guys are saying in the comments, like, divorce definitely is
Yeah,
a form of grief. I just don't like when people compare, like, your grief to their grief, saying, "Well, my grief was
my
tougher
grief
because
is
we
more
were
than yours. Yeah,
divorced," and I'm like,
yeah,
"But I'm not trying to compare any grief to any grief. Grief is horrible in general, right? I don't
yeah,
wish that upon my worst enemy. I really don't, because grief and loss are the toughest. They're the toughest things to get through. They really, really are. You know.
hmm
But I love what you said. I think that's so good, and I think it takes someone to actually put the mirror back to them. So I think that's really awesome that you're very self-aware of that, right? And I don't want to generalize, but I have heard that, like, I feel like it is a bit hard. I'm not going to say harder for men, but I do feel sometimes like men do get a short end of the stick, like, especially if they're fighting for kids, if you have kids, custody, like, just different issues, right? Like, it
yeah.
usually the courts and different things are sided with the women a little bit more,
With the mother,
that I've
absolutely.
seen, that I've seen. Don't get mad at me, ladies, but that's like
No, it's true.
those are the things that I've seen, right? And heard
Yeah,
from so many guy friends of mine going through that, or trying to fight to like, see their kids, and they can't, like, just different things, right? But that's great that you're aware, and yeah, I don't know. I feel like something, once you get through whatever moment, or what you need to settle and get through, I don't know. I feel like you're gonna meet someone great, like, you know, in aisle 2. And I'm not just saying that. I feel like something's gonna happen,
is that
because
what that happens in aisle two?
that's what happens in aisle 2. But I don't say that to
Okay.
everyone, but I feel like, once you kinda get through those things, do you ha have you ever thought about getting married again, or is it just way too recent, like, way too to even think that you would want that, or have you
Of
thought?
course.
Oh, you have? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a again. I when I talked about um accepting my part, it
Mhm.
doesn't mean that you know that I accept my part, but I don't want to deal with no women ever again. It's like no, listen,
Mm.
I love women, right? In a like a real appreciative way, right? Like I love women. My I I my grandfather on my mother's side died when I was single digits, right?
Mhm.
I never, if I did, I never remember meeting my father's father. So all of my life, I've been around women for the most part, right?
Mhm.
Mother, grandmother, aunts, um, cousins. It's been mostly women. So I love and appreciate women, and I know that they, like, without a shadow of a doubt, they are all individuals. I would never group them and say, well, women are this and women are that. Like they are all
Mhm.
individuals. My experience with the person that I was married to for 15 years, she can find someone and have a totally different experience And likewise, I can find someone and have a totally different experience. I would never want to carry that on or carry
Mhm.
that forward, you know. So I take everything as it comes. I'm definitely not, you know, um like thrown off by it and being just like, no, I'm not women, yuck. Like, no, that's crazy.
Mhm. Oh, I
Like
love that.
I
That's great.
appreciate women too much for me to just be like, well, I'll never get married again. No, I want to get married again,
Mhm.
and it's not at a point where I'm just like I'm pushing for it, but it's like when it comes, I want to be ready for it. So in the meantime, let me continue to work on myself, improve
Mhm.
myself, improve my mental, so that when that time comes, I'm ready for that.
So
And
true.
I'm accepting of how they're trying to love me, which
Mhm.
is probably one of the most important things. So
Yeah, and sometimes you think you're ready until you get into something, and then you're just like, "Oh, gosh, like, I got way more work than I thought that I
yeah,
needed to do," you know? Because
yes,
some things you're just not comfortable, especially if you've been independent or for a while or, like, vice versa. We're from different angles, right?
hmm
So, I you remind me so much of, like, a few I've talked to on here that have had divorces. I'm gonna send them this replay actually, so
okay,
they can see it because they come from a different perspective, right? Like just like whatever, I don't care. Just gonna have fun, short term, casual. Gonna do my thing. Forget about long term. Forget about this, you know. But
yeah,
like you mentioned, like hurt people, but we are all broken. There's not one human being that isn't, you know. I think once you start realizing that, then you understand that everyone walking by you, like if someone gives you road rage or someone flips the finger at you or someone's just irritable in the office and you can't figure out what you did, right? It's like everyone is broken. Everyone has some story that you don't even know behind them, right?
hmm
So once you start seeing that, I think you have a little bit more grace for people that don't even deserve it. Like, you know, instead of like road raging back at them, you know, they could have lost their son, right? Or they could have had something happen and they just freaked out on the highway, right? But we don't look at those situations. We don't see that in the moment. Um, but I'm kind of learning that slowly and just to let it go. Like that's not your issue. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
So
Leading with love. I think
it's hard. That's hard to
it.
do,
It
man.
is hard.
People think that that makes you a weak person, but I think following this route makes you I think that makes you a strong person because that's not your nature to your nature is to react, right? If you get into
hmm
an argument, I'm going to be reactive,
And
you
defend
know?
yourself. Yes, reactive.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and you're going to
Yeah,
defend, right? So,
yeah.
yeah, I feel like it takes more of a strong person, but it's interesting cuz most people consider that weak, you know? Or like you weak, but it takes
They're
a lot
wrong.
to
And a lot of people who say that they aren't mature, emotionally, right?
Mhm.
For whatever reason, whatever they grew up with or dealt with or whatever they were around, those people fostered this environment of this I don't, not machismo, but just more of like emotional ignorance. Like everybody, no one is perfect, so we're all dealing with things day by day, trying to trying to decipher through our emotions and see what we really feel, what we really think, and what should really be the best course. You know, it's not easy, but the people who are more emotionally intelligent, they're navigating through that better. They have more grace for people and they can show more kindness.
Yeah, but that's hard to do, man. It's like someone slaps you, you just wanna, like, backhand them back, you know what I mean? But, ah,
Yes,
yeah, we're learning every day. But
every day.
it's good, it's good. Oh man, I feel like you need to do, like, I don't know, have you ever done, like, more talk? Like, you know, besides music, but have you thought about doing a little bit more talk? like talking about
Mm,
different topics. Like I know you said with your voice, but I'm telling you, you got a good voice to use. You should look at forming something if you wanted to, you know? I think you can help a lot of people, you know?
I hadn't thought about it too much. I do tech support talks. I
Tech
do
support talks,
those.
okay. The
Yeah,
next door talks. Okay.
yeah.
That's a
Thursdays.
yeah,
Thursdays at
exactly.
7.
How you doing, Do Wes? Good to see you as well.
Do West. What
Thank
up,
you for
brother?
the bits. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Um, and he said you're interviewing the handsome. I'm just trying to read your note here. You said you're interviewing the handsome brother. You guys, he seems like a really nice guy. And ladies, like, let me know, give me something here, DM me, we can make something work in aisle two. You never know in the future. And they seem to know you quite well, the ladies in the chat, which I find kind of funny. So, if you guys have any last minute questions, wow, shoot, we're 2.5 hours. I could definitely still chop it up with you. I know we got to wrap up here. If you guys have a last minute question, thanks for sharing that. I do like appreciate that, and I was going to say, like, I normally ask this. This is also kind of definitely a deep question I always ask at the end of my show too.
Okay.
But say if you only had like, besides DJing and music and all the grand things you've done, if you had like say 6 months to live, what would you want to not only do, but is there a legacy or anything that you would like to leave behind as well? And what would you like to do if you had 6 months? Like what would that look like to you on your life bucket list, I should say?
Um, 6 months to live. Probably I would marry the first person that I love deeply. I would spend every day with my children, and I would play music for anyone who would let me play something for them. Um, and nothing else. That's all
Nice.
that
I
would
feel like
matter to me.
that's I feel like that's all achievable. That's very achievable. Oh, I feel like I need to like I want to find you a Southern girl now. I got to find someone from the South for him. I feel like that's my mission. I got to do that. So, Honeyflow is taking applications, you guys, for him. So, let me know. Let me know, ladies. I love that answer. I think you're also the first person to answer that question in a different way because most people say travel. And I think I had one or two people that said they'd like to spend it with their family. But you're the first to say to get married, you know? So, oh, Tasha Star might be coming out there for you. We could have a bit of competition in the chat room between this girl Xtina too. I don't know. She knows a lot about you. Tasha Star's like, I'm a Southern girl. Uh, oh, South Bronx. She's not originally from the South. South Bronx. Come on, we can't be the Southern Bronx. Now that's not cutting it. A Southern belle we need. You know. So yeah, she says the South Bronx. Oh man. Well, this girl Xtine is from Boston. Wait, Crazy Berry Town. Wait, wait, wait. She lives in Atlanta. She lives in the ATL. So everyone's like, leave me alone. But so yeah, I wanted to oh yes. Hobbs says, oh no, we just need to find him a quality person. That's so true. So you guys start looking. Would you be open if you ever met anyone on Twitch or no?
Yeah.
Oh, you would? Yeah. I love the fact that you're not like scared to actually, because most people that have gone through something like that or that are single our age, it's like the first reaction I get when I ask people, they're just like, "Oh, whatever. I could do, I'm good and bad by myself, honey flow. Like, I don't need anyone." Or, like they get not defensive, but that's their first answer. But I'm like, "But I never
But it
asked
feels
you."
defensive, right? It feels like
Exactly,
they're,
because I said I
yeah.
never asked you whether you're independent or whether, you're good on your own, but that's a reaction I hear from a lot of women right now, and I don't blame them. Like I was kind of there before too. I don't blame them, but I
Mm,
think it takes a certain amount of vulnerability to say, "Hey, like I would like to get married. I would like to connect with someone." You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
that's not easy for people to say because it's kind of letting it's not letting your pride down, but it's kind of letting the wall down and being honest and say, "Hey, this is what I would like." So, I love the fact that you actually said it cuz a lot of people don't, you know? Like they don't say it, right? So,
yeah.
um
I mean, it doesn't failure doesn't scare me. I've already failed before.
mhm.
Now, it would probably annoy me because that would mean that I didn't learn from my original mistakes. I'm big on like, let's see what happens and let's learn from it. Let's see what we can learn and let's see how I can be better every day. I've shown that in so many aspects of my life. Um, to get to this point, like, me doing building inspection, me being a DJ, like none of this was not something that I was born into, you know, me learning how to do plumbing and pipe fitting. No, that's not what I was originally doing. I didn't even go to school for that. I not, coming out of high school. So if
Mhm.
I learn how to do all that, then I think I can learn, how to be a good husband, um, and to be a good man and a good father, right? And everything else, a DJ, things like that. That helps build helps me build my foundation. So
Mhm. It's so true. Well, I'm so curious to see what your next chapter is gonna be, and, I'm definitely rooting for you. Like, it's
thank you.
been honestly a pleasure just learn more about you because I know you don't know me super well, and I appreciate you coming on my show as well, and I know I didn't ask you in advance for any deeper questions like I
It's
normally
all
do,
right.
but I appreciate you opening up, and you guys, like, be on the lookout, let me know. I'm a pretty decent matchmaker, I really am. So, be on the lookout for him for G Class, make sure you guys are adding him, and, if you wanna also let them know when you're on, like, what your schedule is, anything you wanna promote with the next door as well, again, and just kinda let them know what your streaming schedule is like, that would be great so they could catch you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I stream Wednesday nights, 7 p.m. Central, typically, for Red Cup Spotlight. Next week we'll be doing Janet Jackson. We'll be doing a spotlight on Janet Jackson, so you probably don't want to miss that one. And it'll be on my G Class underscore DJ page. Tomorrow I stream Thursday, 7 p.m. Central, Tech Support Talks. Of course, the idea is to help, again, tech support next door. It's the same idea. I want to help people in their streaming journey, right? I want you to feel more confident about streaming. If you have any OBS questions, Streamlab questions, even we've gone as far as talking about merchandise, branding. If you have any questions about that, feel free to come on by. We talked about the DJ program. We did a couple of streams on that, like really dove in. So, uh, yeah, we do that. And then now I do some gaming streams from time to time, and now I'm getting into some fluffy, some
I like
fluffy
that.
daddy workout content. So, um, yeah, check. If you're not
Fluffy
following me,
daddy
G
content.
Class.
That's gonna
Yeah,
attract, definitely I mean, I'm just curious now that we're on this whole fluffy daddy thing, zaddy, sugar daddy thing we talked about earlier, and then we also talked about, you would like to meet someone as well. Do you have, like, a certain type? Like, is she fluffy? Is she, like, ethnicity, like, a certain type that you like or not really? And be honest too, doesn't matter. We're still on the lookout for him.
let me. Okay, real quick, Tasha Star, you did not start calling me that. I got that from Kitty Bradshaw.
I like it, it's
Um,
funny.
uh, a type? Mm, no, I mean, of course, just based off of how I grew up, I'm always partial to fluffy women. But at the same time, realistically, the type is. a kind-hearted, beautiful person, who is willing to talk openly, not be um, and not really, hold back in a sense of um, wanting to have me look at them in a particular way, right? Someone who's comfortable and confident in themselves, but yet still um, open to having someone to support them and maybe help them, guide and direct them in a way. So, um, and typically the ones I like wear glasses. Uh,
Taking notes. I'm looking at your pictures right now. Hobbs is wearing glasses. I don't think we should say fluffy woman, though. I shouldn't say that. I don't think a lot of women like being called fluffy.
maybe not.
Maybe thick like a
Maybe
dumpling.
not.
We'll play the reggae song, thick like a dumpling. Um, yeah. So, are you guys taking notes here? You got to be thicker. That you like wearing glasses.
I just say they gotta be stirs. What are you doing?
Tasha's like takes my glasses off. Stirs to souls like removes his glasses.
Mm.
Are you is your description stirs thick like a dumpling being a woman? Probably not. I don't think you fit that description, stirs. He says removes glasses. Let's see. Okay, what about ethnicity? Do you have like a type like specifically? Like can she be Spanish, Indian, African American? Like what is your let's get into the real
Yeah,
nitty-gritty here.
absolutely.
'Cause I'm
But
looking
I'm
at some
always,
people in the chat right now and I'm like, hmm,
I've always just been partial to black
glasses
women though.
check.
But yeah,
Okay.
I've always been open, but I'm definitely
Because we
partial to
don't know.
black
M.
women.
Lewis wears glasses. Stirs just took off his glasses. He's like, I'm not on stage. Yeah, don't call a woman fluffy. I don't know why I said that. Don't do that. I mean, Father Damien wears glasses for goodness sakes. So we need to really specify here. Oh, Disco Darren. Yes, Disco
Women,
Darren
women.
wears glasses. Oh man. Oh man. Well, anyways, I'm going to keep my eyes open for you. So would you ever be open to a dating show, going on a dating show? I know I was trying to get a dating show started here on Twitch, but all the women are so scared. I don't know why. Like I had Fresh on and Junior and a bunch of guys have been messaging me wanting to they actually trust me matching them, which is shocking,
Hmm.
and none of the women want to come on, which I don't get. Like I thought I'd have a million women for Fresh. And Fresh is like, "You're hurting my ego, Honey Flo." Like, none of the women are I had one contestant, you know,
Hmm.
and the rest are all saying no. But would you ever be open? Like, say if you were a bachelor, would you ever be open to it's just all in fun too, right? Like,
Hmm.
and
No,
then
ma'am.
no, you wouldn't be open to it? Ah,
No.
okay. Well, it's worth a try. Okay. Well, it looks like we're not starting this dating show for a while, guys, until I find we're still
This.
working on Fresh. It's been so, but everyone's like, he's a player, he's this. And it is actually quite hilarious because
Oh, okay.
Fresh will be like, Honey Flo, they don't go for me because I'm only 5'9". And I was like, that is not true. Give me a break. And he's like, trust me, as soon as they see me in real time, it's over for me. Like, I find it funny because he's kind of got that player persona and smoothness online, right? But then
Hmm.
he's like, they don't go for me, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, man. Anyways, guys, I need two more women. I got one. I'm not going to say who she is, but I know everyone in the room knows who she is. One great woman. I need two more women. And maybe we can
Fresh.
convince, yeah. And then maybe we could convince G Class at a later date, warm him up a little bit to do it. Because I think you'd be a great bachelor. I think you'd be fun, you know? And trust me, I'll find your type. I'll find some fluffy women for you. I'll find some gorgeous women, you know,
Mm.
the Jill Scott type of vibe. I'll find that for
Mm.
you. How about that? No. He's not convinced. Anyways, I think we are going to wrap up because I know it's been 2 hours and 40 minutes. That's crazy. Is I don't know if you could see, but is there anywhere you'd like to go, like right into?
Mm,
If you can see, we could leave it up to you. Find them at church. Come on, Father Damien. That hasn't worked for me. I don't know. I don't know. Although I did see someone at Father Damien's church that I was looking at. Did you check the security footage for me? Father Damien said he checked the security footage for me to see who the guy was. Jeez. And the thing that gets even funnier, guys, while he's looking, is I met DJ Ron Love and his friend, and I was sandwiched in between them. And I was regretting it because I saw a really, really good looking guy at Father Damien's church to the right of me, totally my type. And then I was sandwiched in between DJ Ron Love and his friend. So I was like, oh, great. They're going to think I'm with one of them, sandwiched. I sat in the middle of them. Sandwich means something else. And I was like, oh, man. I'm like, is this just wrong going up to communion to get communion because I see a really good looking fine guy like my type walking up there? Is it wrong to go right behind him and trail right behind him to just get the piece of bread and the wine? I know. Sorry, guys. It's horrible. It's really horrible. It is. I wonder if he went back. I gotta go back there on a Sunday, Father Damien. I mean, to see you, of course, and to God, see God too. But I mean, I gotta see if he's there. Anyways, whatever. I'm rambling. Um, so, all right. Did you find anyone? Because I'm just rambling right now.
um, uh, no,
Oh,
you
man.
can keep talking for a little bit. Go
No.
ahead. You're doing great.
Oh, he was so fine. He was like 6'3", 6'4". Oh man, like yeah, like built, wearing a very like bright colored top, you know. And it's not every day that you see someone around here, that makes your heart beat. Anyways, but it was funny because I was meeting other Twitchers at Father Damien's church, and he was going to give us a tour of all like his 10 DJ rooms, right? Yeah, but it didn't work out. Oh well. Anyways, maybe another time.
Um, no, I don't. I'll leave it up to you.
What? After all that, you're going to leave it? I was trying to fill in the space
I
here.
was enjoying the conversation there.
Don't it's so crazy how you get surprised, Like, I don't know if that ever happens to you when you see someone, guys. Like you're not thinking, you're not dressed up, you're just like, ah, whatever. And then all of a sudden you see your type. Like, and it literally is like takes your breath away. And you're like, oh man, I should have looked better, or I should have it's so awkward going up to someone. Anyways, okay, so let's see who we could rate into. Do you want to? How about I'm going to take the pressure off of me. You, if you want to give shout outs to the chat room, I'm going to find someone.
Okay. Do West as always. I appreciate you, brother. Um, oh, I should be jumping on. Well, we'll see. I was gonna try to jump on, do a teaspoon of vibes. I still might try. It would be on G class underscore DJ, but it'd probably be like 10 minutes after this, so closer to 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. In the meantime, Hobbs, as always, thank you for coming through. Candy B, you know what it is. Father Damien, thank you. Disco Darren, showing up. You just probably popped up from your nap, right? You said you had to work. Uh, of course, Tasha Star. Thank you, Stirs, as always, sir. Um, M. Lewis, appreciate you. Thank you so much. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this interview, this discussion. Miss P. Smitty, how'd I miss you? Welcome in. Um, Hopefully you guys enjoyed this discussion. And again, Honeyflow is trying to grow, right? So please, if she posts something, follow her on that page. Follow her IG for updates. Um, and hey, if you're interested in her dating show, reach out. She's
Yeah, I may
always
do
looking.
that. I
She's
am always
always
I
looking.
am always looking. I am always looking at you guys. and Googling. I don't know about growing. I think trying to grow is exhausting at this point. So I think I'm pretty much done
Naturally,
actually. Now that I have to start a
naturally,
new page, I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" You know?
natural. Just one step at a time. Listen,
Ugh,
when you
it's
work,
too I can't
let
do
me
it.
ask you
I'm not
this.
gonna do it anymore. I can't.
Let
I
me ask
can't.
you this.
I'll stick
You
to my
can.
talk show.
You can.
No, I
One
don't wanna
step at a
do it
time. I
anymore.
started a new one.
Did
I don't
you?
have those follows. Yeah.
Yeah, but it
Yeah, I
took
had
like
to.
4 years of doing this full time. I'm like, I
I
cannot do
agree. I
another
was
I
right
can't
there
do it
with you.
anymore. Yeah.
Yes, you
Oh,
can.
yes, you're right, 'cause it was
Yes.
2016. I
Yes.
d but don't
Well,
you
no,
feel like
20, yeah,
you
2020.
but don't you reach a point where you're like, "Nah, I'm good. I can't do it anymore." Like, I'm definitely there. So that's why I'm like, "You know what? I just it's exhausting just thinking of doing a
Don't
new
think about it.
like, another page."
Don't listen. One step
I
at a time.
streamed, like, for a couple hours and, bless her heart, you know, sometimes I think she feels sorry for me. This girl, Xtina, was the only one in the room. It was just me and her. I'm like, "Oh,
Listen.
I can't
All
do
you
this
need is one.
anymore. Can't."
All you need is one. That's imagine. See, you can't look at the numbers of who's there, right? You're there to share the experience. Whoever comes in, they're sharing it with you.
Yeah, but it was
Shout out to
by
this girl,
myself.
Xtina.
It was by myself. Yeah, shout out to this girl, Xtina. She has helped me out so much, like, for real. Um, you know, she really has, along with others. But, you know, I was by
Yes.
myself. I'm like, "Forget it. I'm going to TikTok. I can't handle this." You know? I know it's not so much about the numbers, but it can be frustrating with this whole I don't know how you feel with the new program, but it
Mm-hmm.
could be very frustrating starting all over again. I don't feel like it's very equipped for streamers that don't just DJ, but we do other things too. So to just tell people, "Oh, we'll just start a new page. It's not a big deal." Like, it is a big deal if someone's worked at it for how many years, right? And then they gotta start all over again. And then on top of that, you know, we're gonna I'm assuming it's gonna go down to 30%. I don't know what your thoughts are, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna go down to and that's why they're probably not saying, but I think it's gonna be like TikTok and Mixcloud, be about 30%, you know?
You're talking about the split
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
70
Um,
30 Twitch. That's
well,
what you're
yeah,
thinking?
yeah, I'm definitely thinking that 'cause Mixcloud and, TikTok and all of them are. Um, you know, I definitely have a lot of views. I probably won't even there's no point saying it, you know? But did you, you said you did a show on it, right? I'd be interested in seeing the replay. Is your replay still up there for your shows talking about it?
Oh, about
Like the DJ
mhm.
program and stuff? I'd
Yeah,
like to
they're up there.
okay.
Yeah, check them out.
When did you do
Absolutely.
them? Did you do them, like,
The
recently?
last 3 weeks.
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna definitely check it out, with that. But how do you feel about starting a new page? Are you kinda like, "Oh, no?" Or are you excited? Or what are your thoughts on it?
Um, New beginnings,
Yeah.
right?
I was kinda
I,
thinking that a little bit too. Like,
yeah.
new people, like,
Yes, and
would you be following the same people you followed on your other page or no? I'm kinda thinking
no,
yeah, I was kinda
no.
thinking new
This
beginnings.
is the way I view it. This might be a little abstract, but um, gold diggers, when they go and they're digging, they have a little pan, right,
Mhm,
with the little is it like a grate? I can't remember what it's called, but they shake it and they're sifting through the rocks to
mhm.
get to the gold. That's how I look at this.
Hmm.
So when I'm up to what, over 1,600 followers on G class underscore. I got a
Mhm,
late start because I started a little like a year into the pandemic, right? So
mhm,
I didn't get that bump. I I also, when I actually jumped on, I never talked on the mic, and I never told anybody I was on, right? So I would watch other DJs and other content creators, and I never spoke. I was the ultimate lurker. And once I started speaking, that's when I started to grow. So now I'm at a new place. same face, right? But I can take all those lessons and actually sift through and be like, okay, I'm looking for gold now, right? Now I'm looking for, people who really love music or who really love this, and I
That's
can really
true.
hone
That's
in
true. Yeah.
on my audience instead of being like, oh well, yeah,
Just
I have
following
these people
everyone.
and that. Yes, yes.
Yeah, no, you know what? That is very true. Like, one cool thing that actually really happened to me today, which I was like, "Whoa, this is a really weird moment for me." I won't say kind of all of it, but I landed on some other girl's talk show, and I don't know if she works for Def Jam or who she really is, right? But she was interviewing Montel Jordan, and there's a bit of a story behind that, like, at least for me, and
Mhm.
I was just feeling discouraged. I'm like, "Ugh, I've been doing this full time, man, for 4 years on my savings." Like, your following does not matter, like,
Nope.
whatsoever, you know? Like, it's really the tribe of people that come, and, I don't have, because I just press play, like, which probably is not effective. I'm not working with groups of people or teams or in all those groups and all those things anymore, right? I'm just kinda just doing me and pressing play, and that's it. And I know that's not very effective, but that's what I do. I've been doing that for a long time, right? Um, so anyways, I land on this talk show. She's interviewing Montel Jordan. There's about 200 viewers, but only like 4 people, including myself, in the chat, right? But it was so intimate that I was able to ask him some questions.
Hmm.
Um, but it's extra special because of something that I'm thinking about, and I was really shocked to see him on Twitch being interviewed, right? But it just really uplifted my spirits, like everything he was talking about, how his identity was in music and in a following, and his identity was in so many things he was trying to build, but that's not really where his true identity, like, he realized that's not where it's supposed to be. That's not where it lies. So he said that music, he said something like, if something were to happen to him, or, a death, or I don't know, something tragic, it's like the music wouldn't be there for him. Although he thought the music, you know what I mean? He thought the people and the music and everything in the industry would be there for him. But at the end of the day, none of that. It's like they don't love you. Like, that's basically what he was saying. The music
Yeah.
doesn't love you. None of these things love you. And that literally hit me today, when, and he said a lot more. I got to clip it. Hopefully I could find her interview and clip it. But it was just so refreshing to sit with someone that did another talk show that was asking deeper questions. And then I asked him a few questions a bit deeper, and deeper questions, and then he answered them. And I'm just like, whoa, like, that's so crazy. Like, this is the first show, I've never seen this show in 4 years, because
Right.
I'm constantly on the same shows and the same people that really haven't come to my show in 4 years. You know what I mean? And I
Hmm.
can't blame them. I haven't gone to a lot of shows either. Like, sometimes you just need a break from jumping on a million shows, especially if you stream like 6 hours. Like, you don't really wanna be on any shows, to be honest, right?
Yeah.
So maybe I'm doing the same thing, you know? But
There's some
anyways,
th-
like you
there's some
said, it
things you can do. There's some
yeah.
things you can do. I mean, definitely, if you're in too many places, cut down how many places you go to. I
Yeah,
don't follow everybody, and even if I do, I don't have notifications on for everybody.
exactly. It's just
And
too much. Yeah,
yeah, you only need realistically, you don't need everybody to see you, but with the numbers help, right? Because the more people see you, the more opportunities you have for growth. You only need a few right people to
true.
really see you,
But I
right?
feel
I
like
think,
it can become the numbers game, because, like, when you think about it, if you have 10 or 20,000 people, then you get at least 1% or less than 1% in your chat. It's almost like how sales is. You have to create a large funnel in order for, that small little bit, not that you sell to, but it works out like how sales is, right? How you create
well,
something a big, and that's the thing
yeah,
I don't like about social media, like, where it's like your worth is relied on a crazy check mark, or people will value your show based on that number they see. You know what I mean? Like, but everyone does great shows on Twitch. So why is that value placed on that number or that check mark? You know what I mean? So,
Let me,
anyways,
if
that's
I,
why I was like, I'm over it. I'm over trying to get
okay, but
anyone following. So,
before you go too far,
yeah.
let me say this: not everybody is doing great shows on Twitch.
True.
I
True.
it could be easy to see that from the outside, but not everybody's doing great shows on Twitch.
Mhm.
And the more you value your voice and understand that, Tasha, stop, and understand that what you have to say is just as valuable as what anybody else has to say, that's when you'll start really believing in your content. You're better than what you're giving yourself credit for. The
Mhm.
only issue that you have at this moment is that you haven't found the right people to be in front of. It might not be Twitch. Maybe it's YouTube. Maybe it's someplace else. Maybe maybe you got to start cutting up your long form content and putting it out on in short form content on Instagram and TikTok. Maybe that'll get the views up. There's different ways to get views up. You can't. There's no way that you can get everything that you need from Twitch. Twitch doesn't have it. Twitch is the world, but you got to break it down to be like, okay, how do I get people to my home, right? When you have a party, you don't just cook food and just be like, okay, uh, I'll unlock the door and let's see who comes in. Like, it's literally like you have to send invitations. Some people you have to remind. Some people you might even have to like go to them and be like, hey, I'm having a party. I want you to come.
Yeah.
That's
So
the
true.
idea. Like,
That's
that's what
true.
you
I don't do
literally
any
have
of
to
that
do,
because you know that
and you
like
have
how much
to.
work it is, like flyers and graphics
I
and
do.
oh man, it's a lot.
I do
And
it all the time.
yeah, and even when you're posting videos, on Facebook and Instagram and some of these apps, it only goes to 2% of your audience. So you could keep posting all day. No one your followers, no one sees that, right? So, I don't know, sometimes I think with a new page, I totally feel like I'm over it. Like I'm just done. Like that's how I feel. But I'm going to try to keep pushing my talk show. Like I'll just go on and do pop-ups for fun, but I'm not looking to like I'm just it's
Okay,
just
so
too
the talk show is
exhausting.
the focus.
Well, I think, but I'm also thinking that maybe, my friends are like, "Hey, you should really do a podcast. Like you're a talker, like, and you should really like push your story out more and really think about podcasting instead of Twitch." Like most of my friends don't think Twitch is the right place for me at all. Like they've been telling me that
How do, how
basically
do
for
they know?
years.
How do they know?
Uh
It's not the wrong place.
just stuff
You
they've
don't
seen,
know.
stuff that has happened, stuff, just a lot of different things. But they're
I
just like,
understand.
yeah, you should get off the platform and do something different, right? And I
No,
mean,
I don't agree.
I don't know.
I know you didn't ask me, but I don't agree. And I think Twitch is the right place for what you're doing, but I don't want you to get so locked into the experience on Twitch. Twitch is for live, right? Which is like that's what makes this so like great. Then you can
Mhm.
take this and put it on YouTube, right? Because YouTube is like a library. Okay,
Mhm.
so if you want to learn something, you want to find out something, Twitch is the library. I mean, YouTube is the library. But then you have to take this and cut it up and put it on other places so that people can come
Yeah,
across
it's
it,
a lot of
and be like,
editing.
oh,
It's a lot.
yes.
You're right.
But there are apps, right? Opus Clip
Mhm.
that will take it will cut it up for you. Listen, this is what I need you to do. Okay,
Mhm.
I I was helped to like really see this. I want to do a free stream audit for you. Okay. I want to look at your stream. I want to break it down. I want to show you where you are. I want to show you who compares, and then I want to show you where you can be with some minor changes. Again, I'm not. I don't push high price changes. What I push is very simple. Um, like let's get down to the basics and see exactly what's going on, and let's see how we can truly grow this thing. I've helped a number of different people. I want to do the same for you. Okay.
Mhm.
I truly want to. Please let me give you a free stream audit. Okay. And then we can talk about it because I think that what you're doing is dope. But
Mhm.
what I want you to realize also is that it can't just be one place, right? But there's apps that can help you to grow as well and make it easier for you. The podcast, fantastic idea for sure. You can take what we're doing now and put it directly on a podcast with minimal editing, right? Just a little, maybe in the middle, in the beginning, but you can
Mhm.
monetize those quick, right? They want to monetize your podcast, so they want to put commercials in there. Boom, right?
Mhm.
But it's not as dire as it seems and as it feels. Okay,
So
you
you
just
don't
need
feel
a
that
little bit of
starting a
help.
new page that well, I appreciate that. I mean, yeah, we'll definitely talk off record, for sure. Um, but so you don't feel that like starting your new page, like you're like, no, this is good. This is a good restart, and I'm good. Like you don't feel like a daunting feeling, like oh man, I'm starting from like square one again. Like you don't feel that at all. Maybe
No,
I'm looking at it
I,
the wrong way, I guess.
I,
But
well, okay. So this is how I do it. This is just me. This is based off my experience over the years. Man, can't believe it. Like, okay, I'll tell you how I felt just a couple weeks ago. I was near tears at the end of my stream because I'm like, man, I really, really want to do something great on Twitch. But people caught me in the beginning or in the like in a it, when it had hit me early, right? So we get all this information. I go on stream, boom, right? So now I'm processing everything. But when I'm done processing it, now it's like, okay, what do we do now? Right? Like, what comes next? And I don't know,
hmm.
but I want to find out. So, starting a new channel, not having the follows, not having my emotes. Now I got to build that back up because I don't have instant approval like I have on my other one. Nobody knows who I am, where I am.
Mhm.
Okay, cool. This gives me another opportunity. Let's do it again. And that's the same
Mm.
thing with like we talked about with marriage and life, jobs, uh, all these different situations that I've been through, that other people have
Mhm.
been through. It's just that I view it as another opportunity, right? I'm
Mm.
taking all my experience that I've learned and I'm putting it into this new space. Let's see what happens. And I'm
Yeah.
I'm just positive that it's going to work.
Mhm. Oh, that's good. That's good. Definitely good looking at it that way, you know? That definitely helps. I appreciate that. But, yes, yeah, thank you for the advice. I definitely appreciate it. Because yeah, I'm like, yeah, this is too much work to restart again, you know? But I hear what you're saying that sometimes also restarting with different people and trying different things. Like today was a like I was really shocked actually. Like just with the conversation and the talk show and the questions and just what he said really hit me. Really
Mhm.
really, and it was very intimate. Like it was like, and I'm like, "Oh, wow, that's crazy that he's here on Twitch," you know? And, sometimes you get timid, you're like, "Oh, I'm not gonna ask certain people because I don't have a large following to even ask them," right? But I was surprised because her following was around the same as mine, and, I mean, she could have been I think she was in the industry, so it's a bit different, but that gave me encouragement to know that, "Hey, you should still be shooting your shots," right?
Yeah, you don't know
And
unless you try.
yeah, you don't know unless you try. That's so true. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yes, we are definitely going to actually, you know what? I was going to uh wrap up and head to because I heard it was Vance Dale's birthday, but I don't know if he's still on right now. If anyone can double check. I know he was on a minute ago, but if someone can check, because I know it's his birthday, so it would be nice to at least just rate in and say happy birthday to him. Um, or if
Mm.
anyone knows where that back to back raid train is right now, that would be good to know too, so we could raid in. Um,
Yeah,
I'm
he's
not
not
sure.
on right now.
Oh, shoot. Okay, so it looks like we just missed him. Um, okay, no problem. So then, and I'm trying to see if there's anyone else we could raid. Wow, there's a lot of people on tonight. It's like scrolling through everyone. All right. I don't know where the back to back raid train is actually. So that's okay. We'll find someone else. Um, okay. Who can we raid into, guys? Let's see. Um, just looking. Oh, wow. There's a lot of people on tonight.
Have you
Um,
ever have you ever seen Datsun?
sounds familiar, but I don't think so.
Okay, he's more of a producer.
Mhm.
You might like the aesthetic. Uh, and he just jumped on about 15 minutes ago.
Oh, okay.
He's not a DJ. He's definitely more of a producer.
Yeah, that's cool. Sorry, what's his name?
Okay, Datsun. I'll put in.
Dadson?
Can I put in the chat?
Yeah, I think you could put in the chat.
Okay.
Yeah, raid myself. No, thank you. I'm good. I'm good. Let's see here. You're hilarious, Father Damien. Thanks everyone for coming through. We appreciate you, Hobbs, Tasha Starr, Father Damien, and thanks for sticking around. Oh my gosh, did you even think this was going to go over 3 hours? Wow. Oh, I think your mic's off.
Oh, yeah.
There
Me,
we go.
I'm always prepared, just in case.
Hmm.
You never know. You know, when you're having a good conversation with people, you stop looking at the clock.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I appreciate you sticking around, all your advice and just opening up. Yeah, it was a great conversation. I thank you for that too. And we will definitely be in touch off record. Okay, so it's Datsun. Okay, I'm going to try to
And
punch this in, you
Father
guys.
Damien, just real quick while she's doing that, the so what they recommended, which I tested it yesterday. You go live. Well, if you're familiar with Stream Together, when you go live with someone, it sends out a notification to their audience. So I'm gonna go live on my new page and tie in Stream Together from my phone to my other account, and so that everyone will know, and then they'll click on that notification. They'll end up at my new spot. So I'll be doing that for a while. So yes, it definitely can be done.
I got to ask you how to do that off record because I was trying to figure that out, how to do that.
Yeah, we
You
can
know
do it.
what they should have done if people have different, they don't just do the DJ thing, but we have multiple streams. What they should have done is, I know they're connecting, they're connecting both of the accounts, right? You could do that. You could connect
Hmm.
both your accounts together, but they should have kept the following on like both accounts. That way you
Yeah.
didn't have to start all over. Another thing I think they need to do, I'm going to recommend it to them, is if they could increase the 2,000 followers. Because if they're
Hmm.
expecting everyone to have multiple pages now that don't just DJ, but do a variety of streaming, then like the 2,000 cap is going to be hard for people that are already at that cap, right? So that was
Yeah.
another thing I thought of, and there was one other thing. Oh yeah, and the name change. You can't even go back to your original name for 6 months. So they should be able to let you keep your name or do something with it, right? So those are the three things that kind of stood out to me that I think Twitch could kind of work better on, But yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. That's above my pay grade. But I felt the same way.
Yeah,
I really didn't
exactly.
understand the follower thing. Like, why wouldn't they let me? If I'm bringing over my affiliate, then why wouldn't I bring the followers too, or at least send them a email like, hey, do you want to follow this person on the new page? That way they know you have a new page.
Yeah,
To me, it
because I
makes
think
sense.
that's
Yes, there
important.
is a cap, Father
Especially,
Damien,
yeah, there's it's 2,000 people, Father Damien
that
cap
you can follow.
that you could follow, and a lot of people after 4 years are already, yeah, like I'm already at that cap, and I wasn't doing the follow for follow thing. I was just like, okay, I'll follow this show, follow that. But after
Yeah.
4 years, like you get there very quickly, so now you have to go back and start deleting people, right? Um, yeah, you have a cap. It's 2,000 followers, guys. All right, so we are gonna rate out, guys. We're gonna go to Datsun Music, and you said he's a music producer. So make sure
Yes.
everyone in the room adds G class, you guys. Great conversation. Check the replay if you missed it. Make sure you're adding him on both of his pages. What are the names of both of your pages again?
G class underscore and G class underscore DJ.
Okay, that's good that you kept them like this kind of the same name. It'll be easier for
Yeah.
people to find you.
I planned for it. So I checked it up once they said that they were going to do a DJ program. I was like, "Oh, I need to change my name." So I changed it from G class to DJ to underscore so
And I
that
feel
any
like
other
my
page I make after that, I can get kind of slick.
Yeah, and I feel like my name's so long. It's just like, "Oh, come on." And I can't go back to my normal name for another 6 months, but, whatever. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, and she doesn't wanna sub to different channels. I agree. Like, it's kind of a bit of a lot, you know? I wish they could just merge them together and then or allow you to do different things in the DJ category. But I know the DJ categories definitely my thoughts it's going to definitely go down drastically. That's why they're not saying anything to any of us. That's what I
You mean
think.
people leaving like they
Um
won't join? Is that
well,
what you're saying?
if they found out, they probably would quit. I know a few DJs I was told, that had 30,000 people that just quit Twitch, you know? I gotta look at their interviews. I'll send it to you as well. I think Full Blast was talking about it and a few others. Like, I wouldn't quit, but I just wish they would tell us, you know what I mean? Like, not keep it so corporate, because
You'll
they
find
are
out
owned
in
by Amazon Music. Like, if there was a true problem with music, we probably would have had that discussion 4 years ago, right? So for me,
mm,
I feel like it's more corporately making money for Twitch. I don't think it's paying all the labels and doing all this the messaging going out, but anyways, it's my theory and a
interesting.
few other DJs that are thinking different things right now. But it is what it is, right? We don't have a choice. We have to keep moving, right? I'm going to
That's
take
an
your
interesting
suggestion.
conspiracy you got going there.
I don't know if it's a conspiracy. I worked in the corporate world for 20 years. Trust me, I've seen a lot of pitches and they all sound very, very familiar to me. So but it could be conspiracy to other people. But I kind of think Amazon Music does own Twitch and has for the longest time, even before pre pandemic, right? So I don't know. I guess we'll see, you know? Conspiracy or not, I guess time will tell everything. But
We'll see.
okay, so we're gonna raid again. All right, thank you so much. I appreciate you
Thank you.
coming through and everything today, and we'll definitely be in touch too. Yeah, for sure.
Yes, sounds great. Thank you
All
so much
right,
for the opportunity.
okay, for sure. Have a great night too.
You too. Thank you.
Okay, take care. Bye.
Bye.
See you guys. See you guys in the other stream as well. I'm gonna try re-rating again. Okay, let's see. I think this has gone through. Okay, perfect. Okay, take care. Have a great night.